I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lobito! You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to another Beatboxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always my co-host, the one, the only King Pucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Listen guys, thank you for joining us. We have a fantastic program for you today. This evening we're going to be talking about Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. This is Boxing 2.0, ladies and gentlemen. Battle of the internet, or across the internet I should say. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business side of the way. God damn, hold on a sec. Shut this music off. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Chats for Gallery, Rick Rocca, Virtuoso, Saint Brid, Johnny Boy, Bob Money, Mr. E, Seamus Carey, Hard Recoil, Jefe, Padja, Stephen Lawler, Blues Boxing, Nesmatic, and many more to come. The Fight Scout, shout out to the Fight Scout, and many more to come, I'm sure. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. I think we're finally hitting the notifications again. I think YouTube is straightening their bandwidth issues out, so we might just be appearing on the notifications again. So thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Going over to BDA Live, we're going to be posting more film analysis. I've been focusing on that a little bit more, so check that out. And if you got a couple of shekels lying around, you can certainly, wire them our way, and we'll be able to help. You'll be able to help with the finances here in BD Boxing. The Blog Talk phone lines, they don't pay for themselves, so your contributions go a long way for that. Call in. We're going to be opening up the phone lines. I'm going to be posting some StreamYard links as well, so you can call in through StreamYard if you're outside of North America. So thank you guys for joining us. Oh, and I see we get Stu on the line as well. Stu, are you there?
Yeah, what's happening, fellas?
Hey, good to have you on board, man. Good to have you on board.
Yeah,
As you can tell from the... Yes, well, as you can tell from the title of the video, we got a whole lot going on today. This evening, we're going to be talking Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. The war of words is heating up. Ryan Garcia is starting to turn into a bit of a heel. He's starting to embrace his dark side a little bit, and we might delve into a little. We might delve into a little boxing history as well too. Some of the things, some of the happenings in boxing, some of the fights that are being planned for after this whole Corona panic dies down. So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. I'm talking about when you're talking about the history. I mean, I'd like to carry on with that. Fights that were a bit dodgy in the past, fixed fights, and fights that smelt like I smelt a rat in. I mean, that'd be a good topic for one of the shows in the future. I mean, definitely something I want to talk about because we was talking about. I think it was the other day. We was talking about how some of the great names, some of the guys we've got on our walls. You know what I mean? Even they're not fucking innocent when it comes to either throwing fights or fixing fights or being involved with some a bit fishy, shall we say? So yeah, that'd be a good topic as well. I mean, I think Mark's got a few he can bring up as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, now listen. Let's get down to what we're talking about here in regards to the title of this podcast. Hold on, I'm trying to open a link here that Bucho sent me. And it's about Ryan Garcia. First of all, okay, the big war of words is between Garcia and Tank Davis, but there's a lot of other people catching shrapnel from this whole thing. One of those being, by the way, Ryan Garcia, his nickname is King Ryan Garcia or Ryan King Garcia. Is that it?
We all know what happened to the last fighter that called himself King.
That's
Amir
right.
Khan.
Well, listen, Ryan Garcia certainly is the king of the twinks. He has it all going for him. And I think he's actually, he's popular with the ladies and with the gay people. And I think that's good for him. I think he's very marketable in that regard. By the way, fuck. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so let me put this article here. I'm trying to work out some audio issues. All right, so there you have it. Ryan Garcia challenges delusional Amir Khan to spar and promises to hurt him. Now, what's this all about? Garcia claims I will fuck up Amir Khan. Ryan Garcia heard a recent Amir Khan interview in which the British boxer said that the 21-year-old is trying hard to be something he's not. Hard as in Amir Khan's hard cock that he was putting out there on Skype, or I don't know.
It's a bit rich coming from Khan, isn't it? that guy's been a pretender since his career started. I mean, I think the Manny Pacquiao fight's there for me. Floyd's there for me. And Golovkin's always an option. This fucking guy, man. Where is he? This guy's been delusional from day one, so he's got a cheek to talk about anyone. Let's be real.
By the way, we got the autistic bronze plumber on the chat. He can't let it go, man. If you say something that you disagree with him that has nothing to do with boxing, look at him. He's talking about, Stu, I want to call you out on your BS about the coronavirus and chemtrails. Get the fuck out of here, man. I mean, you see the type of psychos we got to deal with here.
Listen here, you dumb little bastard, dumb plumber. Let me tell you something now, right? Every time I see your fucking mush on the chat, you're getting timed out. Your days here enjoying the boxing are over. You are a virus. Let's just say that. And if I had the powers to get you off this show for good, I would. But unfortunately, I don't. So but I do have the powers to time your ass out every time I see you. You can't have me on anything. Your fucking account is based on trolling Deontay. What a low life you are. Get out of here, man. I'm sick of you.
Look, the boxing debate arena is all about freedom of speech and all that, but there's a time and a place, and if you're that petty this guy, you said something about vampires in the what's it called, the second Renaissance stream. He won't let it go. Ever since then, he's going after you. It's like,
oh man, I was talking about Vlad the Inhaler. It was a story about Vlad the Inhaler. I didn't say, he was talking about like I made this fucking story up, just thought it out of my head or something. This is a fucking a story. Like I said, whether you believe it or not, it's another thing. But I was talking about Vlad the Inhaler. And this guy, everything I said he's got a problem with, but like I said, his days here are over.
Listen, I don't, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do have a problem with the guy because his attitude rubs me the wrong way. But again, this is a boxing debate arena. It's all about freedom of speech. But like I said, there's a time and a place, and
Yeah, but the thing is, though, he's not. Is it freedom of speech with him? Does he ever come on and talk boxing with us? Does he ever get in a debate with us? The only comments he ever says is talking about me. So right, he's here for one reason, that's to troll. So for me, every time I'm seeing him, I'm timing his ass out.
All right. Well, listen, let's move on because we're talking about Candido Garcia. By the way, Bucho, do the letters on the on the stream there on the YouTube? Do you think they match the color of the background, or is it hard to see a little bit?
Turn them yellow, I guess.
Fuck. All right, because
Oh no, you're talking about the donors or the?
I'm
main?
talking about the chat.
I guess you can change it.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead and change it if it's not too much trouble.
All right. Well, actually, all right. Let me just finish reading the article and let you guys talk. And while you talk. So, okay. So Ryan Garcia is going after Amir Khan. Poor Amir Khan, who's had his wife. He's been cocked by Anthony Joshua. He's been knocked out a whole bunch of times. He's been called a coward by Bob Arum after his performance against Terence Crawford. So now he's got the king of the twins, Ryan Garcia, going after him. I mean, things aren't looking good for Khan. So this is what Garcia had to say. He says, oh no. So Khan said that Garcia is trying hard to be something he's not, in the mold of an Oscar de la Hoya type good guy. Khan also charged that Garcia is a bit of a robotic fighter, which is a good point, actually. Needless to say, Garcia didn't appreciate Khan's words, and he let the world know by taking to his Twitter account Monday. Garcia also spoke with Fight Hype, calling Khan delusional as fuck and someone who doesn't know shit. First of all, you know who I am, Garcia shot back at Khan. I may be a pretty boy and whatnot, but if people get disrespectful, I'm going to get disrespectful. That's the difference between me and everybody else. I don't have to act like Oscar de la Hoya. They're comparing me to de la Hoya, he added. I'm not comparing myself. As far as Khan labeling Garcia a robotic fighter, King Ryan said, invited Khan to spar with him to change that opinion by force. Come spar with me. We could do it low-key, but when you back on the interview, you better tell them what it is because I will fuck up Amir Khan, Garcia said without hesitation. He could come in 160 pounds. He cannot fuck with me at will. I will fucking hurt at all. I will fucking hurt. Yeah, well, go ahead. You guys talk about this. And
let me ask you a question, BDA. Who you got winning that fight if that fight was made?
I would still pick, what's his name? Amir Khan, man. I'm not convinced. We're going to get into that.
This is the thing about it. Me too as well. Look, Khan's terrible. We all know that. But Khan still has decent hand speed. And he's quite a big guy at 147. I mean, if he lands a good combination on Ryan Garcia, I think he could stop Garcia. But you know, it's whether. I mean, I think Khan could probably hold. Could he hold a Ryan Garcia shot? I think he could get hurt by Garcia. I don't think he could get stopped by him. I'm not sure. Khan's a big fucking guy, man. Don't be fooled by 147. Khan hasn't been a 147 fight for a long time. So yeah, I mean, I'd have to go with Khan. I think. So, size matters in boxing. There's a reason we have weight division.
I think Amir Khan outboxes Ryan Garcia, and then at some point Ryan Garcia lands something and kind of just gets dropped. Maybe not dropped like like Canelo dropped him, not, but he gets all wobbly, and then eventually the referee stops the fight.
I mean, it's all right. People saying Khan's done, but Khan doesn't have to be on fucking prime to beat a fucking. A small guy like Garcia. Come on, man.
Ryan Garcia is looking bigger.
You're talking about fighting Tank. Have you put Tank Davis next to Amir Khan? It'd be like it looks like a dad taking his fucking kid to school if they was walking together. I mean, they're just the size. Look, Khan's are probably a 154 at least at the moment, and maybe a 160 guy. So you're talking fucking a lot of weight, man. And all Khan's got to do is land one. This is what I'm saying.
Why is Amir Khan even pissed off at Ryan Garcia? What's going on?
I don't get it. I fucking don't get it.
Because he called him out.
Why these two are talking to each other?
Well, who started the whole thing?
Well, I mean, apparently Amir Khan said something about Garcia's skills not being up to par to what he thinks they are, and Garcia didn't like it, and he got an attitude. You guys got to keep talking because
why would you even? So Amir Khan is like commenting on Ryan Garcia. Is he commenting on other boxers?
Well, he's commenting on Gervonta Davis.
What did he say?
Oh, hold on, Bucho. I gotta change the chat room. You guys gotta talk at this. I can't do both things at the same time.
All right. Let's just read some of the comments. I guess Stephen Lawler says Khan is shot, but I'd still give him he still beats Ryan Garcia basically. Okay. Apology says, well, I'm not standing for it. I won't support Canelo until he fights a fair fight. Okay. Johnny Boy says, why do you have an issue with me bringing up a man you've never met before? All right, people are fighting in the chat. Very interesting. People are fighting already. Steven Schneider says American is the most successful, unsuccessful fighter ever. Well, thank too. What do you mean most successful and successful? I mean, I guess Amir Khan, listen, if you look at his career, he wasn't, I mean, he did get some big paydays. He did get a lot of fights.
There's some
What
good
do you
wins
think?
there. I mean, there's a win against Madonna. There's a win against Kotelnik. A good Kotelnik as well. What other wins were there really we could talk about? I mean, look, there's not great wins there. It was Devin Alexander, I suppose. Malinaji. Who else was he knocking over? But look,
Sub Judah.
He hasn't got that. He hasn't got that signature win, has he? Let's be real. Just hasn't got that signature win, and I don't think he'll ever will have now. I mean, so I suppose Madonna is a signature win, but when you look back to that fight, I mean, it was just Khan hanging on for dear life at the end. I mean, how he survived it, only he will know. So, yeah, I mean, he managed to nick it. It's a good win, and it's got to be his best win. But Madonna was inches, fucking seconds away from stopping Khan. So, I mean, like I said, that's his best win. But even then, he's just nicked it for me. So, nothing to crow about when you read his resume, really. I mean, just big. There's a lot of big defeats there, isn't there? There's a devastating knockout against Canelo and Danny Garcia. Bradis Prescott was bad, wasn't it? Let's be real. That was fucking bad. I mean, how he bounced back from that, I'll never know. But they were very smart with Khan because once he come back from the Prescott destruction, they started going after guys that just didn't hit very hard, if you get what I'm saying. Small punches, and they still nearly come unstuck when you look at Willie Limond had him all over the place and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I think when they went and got the belt, they got that belt off Kotelnik, didn't they? So I mean, it was the weakest champion there. So I think that his career was managed in the right way, shall we say? But then obviously when he signed to go to America, I mean, he had to start stepping up then, and that's when the Garcia, the Peterson fights were there for him, and good fights, weren't they?
Apology says that was a great fight. Back when Khan was half decent, should have stayed with his trainer.
What fights up?
I have no idea. Which trainer was he with before? I mean, Virgil Hunter. Let's be honest. That didn't.
Before.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah,
it was with some
probably.
black guy. I think his name was Oliver Harrison. I'm sure it was. It might. I'm not sure. I'm fucking guessing now, man. But yeah, I remember when he went to Freddie Roach, and he looked like. I think Khan was at his best when he was with Freddie Roach. To be honest with you, I think Freddie's style sort of suited him. I think Khan trying to fight on the back foot the Virgil Hunter way was getting him into a lot of trouble because he just doesn't have the chin for that or the defensive skills. He really struggles to get away, doesn't he? When he's circling, they're catching up to him. I mean, fucking just struggles to get away from these guys. So, I mean, who's the guy that he fought, the American that he came over, the Italian American with the big mouth? What was his name? And he stopped him in a round. I can't remember now, but that was the Khan. That's what Khan's got to do: go in there, hit them early, and hit them often, sort of thing, and hope they fall over. Because the longer that fight goes on, the worse it is for him in any fight.
4, 3, 2.
All right, people, what's going? Is Mr. Mexico in the chat? Is he that Bay Area, or who did we kick out from Discord?
I don't know,
Johnny.
Listen,
What you tell me?
By the way, I don't know what's going on with my microphone today, but look, the point is, Ryan Garcia, somebody mentioned Virgil Hunter. Could you imagine Virgil Hunter and Ryan Garcia together? Can you imagine what would be going on in behind closed doors with those two? All right, you gotta take your clothes off. You gotta take your clothes off, Ryan. I gotta check your body out. Give you a full body rub down. But you gotta be naked. Oh man, you know what? I can just see it happening that way, and I'm not gonna have it. Not on this show. All right.
So Eddie Reynoso was a good move, right?
It seems like it so far, but I gotta tell you, it seems to me like it's good matchmaking too, which is making the difference here. Because Ryan Garcia, everybody, it's interesting. Just last year, a year ago, people were saying, "Wow, Tank Davis, he murders Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has done nothing." Now Tank Davis has continued to look unimpressive. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia knocks out two guys that two borderline contenders in one round. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Well, he's going to beat Ryan Garcia." And he even seems to be, saying it too. I'm thinking, this is how fickle most boxing fans' minds are out there. Two wins by knockout. Whoops! All of a sudden, you're Mike Tyson.
Yeah. So people, I think you said Ryan. You meant Tank Davis. You said Ryan Garcia knocked out two guys, and all of a sudden, he's going to knock out Tank Davis. Yeah, that's boxing, man. People forget everything that happened before.
Yeah.
You just look at the last fight, or maybe that one before that, and that's it, man.
Right.
I gotta tell you, it's
I keep saying that you're only as good as your last fight in boxing. That's it, mate. You could be pound for pound number one. Before you know it, you're not even in the top 5. Look at Chocolatito, for crying out loud. He gets beat by Rungbasai, gets caught with a shot, and people have got him out of the fucking top 5 pound for pound. One bad fight, sort of thing. So that's how. This is what I mean. The defeat is quite. We're in it's a dog eat dog world out there, and a defeat. It can be quite damaging for your career. Depends what sort of fight you are. I mean, if you're an exciting fighter and you bring it every time, you got a fan base, then you can always come back from defeats. But certain fighters, once they have that defeat, their act is over. If you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Floyd was so scared to lose.
Yeah, man. I mean, but that's the way some people think, and that's how a lot of fans think. I was just thinking about that. What a coincidence! Last night, I was falling asleep. I said, "How come most people have no idea how good a fighter is?" Like, for example, some people will say Tank Davis is a bum. Look, is he overrated? Yes, but is he a bum? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? This guy's got the hand speed. He's got power. He's not a complete.
Dangerous, mate.
What's that?
Tank Davis is a very dangerous fighter.
That's right.
I mean, underestimate him at your peril, man. I'll pick him to beat Ryan Garcia. I think he knocks Ryan Garcia out, to be honest with you.
That's what Mr. BDA said.
I just think Ryan Garcia, for me, is just a bit too green at the moment for Tank Davis.
Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me... Because I'm juggling a million things here at the same time. But let's go to... All right, so Garcia is saying that. He's saying, I ain't no Mr. Nice Guy. Somebody talks shit about me. First of all, Khan said, look, I don't think the guy's all that yet. I believe that's what he said. And Ryan Garcia comes out, guns blazing, starts calling Khan a piece of shit, that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Look, Khan, at this point, he beat Morales. He beat Kotelnik, like Stu said. He beat Malignaggi. He beat who else am I? Hold on a second. I'm drawing a blank here, but the best fighter, Devin Alexander. That was a great win at welterweight. Luis Colazo, who's a very good fighter himself. At 140, he beat who was the other big win he had at Maidana? Like
he beat Marco Antonio. He beat Barrera as well, didn't he? Marco Antonio Barrera.
Yeah, but that Barrera. But what I'm saying is he beat Maidana. And he went to war with Maidana. When Garcia has something like that, when he goes through something like that, he proves us that he can go to war and not clinch his way to a decision the way he did against Carlos Morales or whatever the guy's name was. Then he can start talking about this guy's a piece of shit, this guy doesn't know shit. But so far, it's all a big ego. Like Smarty Jones is saying in the chat room, it's all ego right now.
Yeah, because we mock Khan on this channel, right? But for good reason. He's brought it on himself. But he's achieved far more in boxing than Ryan Garcia has. Ryan Garcia is nowhere near achieving what Khan's achieved. And Khan has made a hell of a lot of money as well. So what you like about him, he's made a lot of money. Whether he's blown it or not, it's another matter. But the guy's made. He was making. Excuse me. He was making millions in his first couple of fights in the UK. So he made 8 million against Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy he's made a lot of money. He's been a world champion, Olympic silver medal. So he's got his own gyms all over the world. So Ryan Garcia is a million miles away from that right now. So yeah, I agree, BD.
By the way, we got a phone call real quick. 337, you're on the air. 337.
Yo, it's Dead Game Boxing. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, Dead Game. Haven't talked to you in a while. Thank you for calling in, man.
Yeah, man, I just had to chime in on this Ryan Garcia. I like Ryan Garcia. I might be one of the new fanboys after his last couple of fights, but I see the skill. I think he's on another level. I think it's a 50-50 fight with him and Tank. I think it'll be a great fight. And I would like to see him when he fills out a little more, when he gets to that 147, fills out, gets his man strength. He's going to be a pound for pound fighter, I think. With the good coaching he's getting from the Canelo camp, and having Oscar around him, you know, in a whatever positive sense Oscar can give him, Brian is going to be the goods, man.
Well, you know, I can certainly respect the fact that he's willing to learn and that he's with this new team. He certainly seems to be improving his reaction time. But my question is, right now, before we get down to the skills, what do you think about his attitude? I mean, he seems to be. It's a type of attitude that might start rubbing people the wrong way. What do you think?
Nah, man, he to be a fighter. Sometimes you have to have that type of mindset. A young fighter, cocky, flamboyant. I mean, he has the right attitude for what he's doing, for his job, you know. I think his attitude outside the gym, I don't know for sure, but I would have to think that he has a better work ethic outside the ring than Tank Davis and many other fighters.
Yeah, definitely has. Garcia's hungry still. Tank's lost his hunger. Tank got one big paycheck and took his eye off the ball, if you get what I'm saying. Well, I think Ryan Garcia, he seems like a hungry cat, that's for sure, but, you know, needs to calm down a bit. I've seen it time and time again, these youngsters with a lot of talent that look like they're going to go all the way to the top, get thrown in there with someone that's just a bit too good for them at the time, and they never come back after a bad loss. So, yeah, I think it might be a bit too early to stick him in with Tank. I'd have liked to have seen him fight someone else first.
No, these young guys need to fight, man. They all, you know, people saying that they need to let them get a little older. They can fight now and then when they get a little older. I want to see them fight. I want to see them all fight.
Yeah, but it's not about age, bro. It's not about age. It's about experience. It's about being in situations that you've never been in before. You know, this is where all experience comes. That's what helps. These young fighters, they're going in there blowing everyone away, and they're not getting the experience they need. They don't know what it's like to be pushed back. They don't know what it's like to hit someone and they just walk through your punches and throw back and take you to the trenches and take you to deep waters. When you haven't been through that before, that's when a lot of fighters, you find out who they really are, and a lot of them fold like a pack of cards. Deontay Wilder, I know he's not a young fighter, but his career was built around blowing these bums away. Never been put in a situation where he had, probably once with Ortiz, but got lucky on the day. But just didn't have it in him. So when Fury came forward with that style, he just froze. He didn't know what to do because he was used to people just backing up and waiting for him to land that right hand. I mean, let's be real. Ryan Garcia is a good fighter, but has he fought anyone like Tank Davis? No. That's the.
Butcher, you're gonna have to take over for 2 minutes, man.
Okay. Go ahead, that game.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying, Stu, but I mean, we have to. There's a couple of things going on right now. I'm starting to see a lot of guys calling a lot of guys out, and I think it's because they know they're not going to fight because of this COVID-19 stuff going on. You're getting a lot of people clout chasing right now. But I think that fight needs to happen. I think all these young guys need to mix it up. I mean, that's pretty much my call, bro. I mean, that's where I'm at with that.
Listen, I agree. I agree they should fight. I'm saying it from a team Garcia point of view. If I was in the team, I wouldn't want to go down that route yet. He's 21 years old. A bad beating can finish a guy's career. A guy could be on top of the world and just one bad defeat, and he's never the same again. And do you really want to see that with it? Like, this kid's confident at the moment. And when kids are confident like that, and they're opening their mouth and they're saying a lot. They're talking a lot of shit. You have to back that shit up, especially in the world of the internet now. I mean, you become a meme very quickly, and a bad defeat, him becoming a meme. Can he cope with that? Look how Wilder's took it. Not very well at all. Wilder's he's lost his mind. So it's just how it's. Well, I said, who says he's going to lose? He could go in there, destroy Tank Davis.
Well, exactly.
I'm saying, but I'm just saying. You know, I'm not saying he could, but if he does lose, it could be the finishing of a good career. If you get what I'm saying.
But what if he loses? What if he loses to Linares?
Wilder's gonna be all right.
Listen, Wilder is not going to be all right. Wilder's a mess. Did you not see that fucking video? I'm your king.
He's all right.
I'm your king. Only a guy that's lost his mind. That's what that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Come on, man. I mean, the guy's not taking his defeat well. He's come out of every excuse in the book. I mean, he's hurting. I mean, just look, his soul had been taken. You could see it in that video. So, look.
Actually,
this when you build an aura around you, that you can beat anyone, you just got to touch them on the chin, they fall over. You know, it's a lot to come back from when you get a pasting in your life.
Let's see what Dead Game has to say. Go ahead, Dead Game.
No, I believe he's good. I mean, I think if he would have came out and started talking about this stuff, it would have been an issue. I've never heard the statement that he made about the uniform. Personally, I've heard other people talking about it. I think he's just been quiet, working on his craft, getting ready for the fight, and we're gonna enjoy it. There's gonna be a third fight.
It's all right working on your craft,
in.
though, bro. Come on, man, working on your craft. Hasn't he had long enough to do that already?
Well, like you said, he was depending on a certain attribute, and
because that's all he can do.
He realized
have you not seen that? Sorry, bro. Sorry for interrupting. Have you not seen the footwork? Have you not seen his balance? Have you not seen his IQ? Have you not seen that pathetic left hook he throws? You know, this guy. What are you going to teach him now? What is he going to go back to the drawing board and do different? I mean, like he could get the tactics a bit different.
Well, he was
That's about it.
He can learn because he was a late starter. 34 years old is still a strong young man. I mean.
I'm not having a late start. I'm not having all that late start. Anthony Joshua, Anthony Joshua won a gold medal and barely had any fights. I mean, let's be real. If you're good enough, you're good enough. I mean, I'm not having it. He has had 43 professional fights, and you guys are talking about him learning on the job still. I mean, fucking hell, what planet are you on?
Who did he fight then? 40 fights?
Who did he fight? He's not going to get any better. Do you think he's going to get better? He's not getting any better. He's hit his peak. That was it. You saw the best of him. Come on, man.
Well, we'll see. We have a third fight.
Like I said, he could prove us all wrong, but I'm just saying I just doubt it. I mean, he hasn't proved to me in all the years I've been watching Deontay Wilder fight. He's never proved to me that he's worked on anything. And I think I don't even think you could teach him. You could fucking dig Emmanuel Stewart out of his grave, and even he couldn't do anything with Wilder. So that's why when people give Breland a bit of stick and stuff. Why don't you teach Wilder to do this, do that? And sometimes you just can't teach a guy to do it if he hasn't got the tools to do it. So, I mean, anyone can throw a jab. Wilder can throw a jab, but can you throw a stiff jab like Fury was throwing and stuff like that? You know, that's the things he needs to learn. Need to learn how to throw get his balance right. His stance is too fucking wide for a start. You know, he needs to shorten his stance. He needs to get his balance right. He needs to keep in shape a bit more. And then we'll see. We'll see then.
Well, Wilder's listening to this podcast. Trust me, he's listening. He's chiming in. But you know,
absolutely,
he might take your advice. But one thing, we have a third fight, and we'll get to see. You know, I'm sure everybody on here know I'm Bomb Squad to this day. So I just want to see a great fight. I like Tyson Fury also. Let's just see a good fight and let's see what happens. Technically, really.
Well said, man. Well said. But listen, we want to get back to the Ryan Garcia thing. So, Dead Game, thank you for calling in, man. I really appreciate you calling, your giving us your input, and you have yourself a great day. All right, man?
Hey, family, y'all keep your hands washed, man. Y'all be good. Y'all stay safe.
That's right.
Yeah. Good call, Dead Game. Good call, brother.
As always. Always brings up great points for discussion.
I don't agree with any of them. But he comes on, he puts his point across. He's not, you know, he keeps it real. Dead Game. Right. I don't mind Dead Game at all. I just can't see how. I know we're not on the Wilder topic, but I just can't see how anyone can think this guy can come back
Mhm.
a better fighter, because I can't. You see it with some guys. Some guys, they take on board their defeat, and like when it's Lewis, you could see he took that on board. Look at the shape he was in the rematch, and he just is focused. He took that serious, and he's got the talent to do that. You've got to have the talent. Now I just don't think Wilder has. But yeah, back to Ryan Garcia anyway.
Well, okay, because I was fucking doing a whole bunch of things. The chat for some reason had frozen. Don't forget, guys, we got the StreamYard link. So if you want to call in outside of North America, you can certainly do so. We're opening up the portal here. Anybody can call in through the StreamYard. We're not gonna censor you around here, unless you start acting like a complete total maniac. Okay, so this is the other thing that Ryan Garcia said. So he went after Khan. Okay, then he went after Gervonta Davis. Boxing's rising star Ryan Garcia has fired shots at future foe Gervonta Davis, labeling him a short bitch. Oh, this is a continuation.
Jesus.
This is a continuation of the ongoing barrage between the two rising stars. Garcia is undefeated and has a spectacular record of 20-0. Yeah, against whom? Ryan has been calling for a fight with the Tank for quite some time, and by the looks of it, this fight might happen sooner than later. So one thing I'm hopeful, happy about is the fact that they're actually talking about it. Now, I know talking about it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to actually make the fight, but that means both guys know they're on each other's radar. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of malarkey about different promotional entities. One guy's with the PBC, the other guy's with the Zone. So how are they going to make it? But trust me, with the money that that's there to be made, it's going to get done eventually. Get made eventually. So he says when he's a talented fighter and he's got okay skills, Garcia said. But there's one thing that he wasn't blessed with, and that's height. Oh, so he's height shaming him. He's never going to be able to touch me, and I don't care about him on the inside. He's short as fuck, and he doesn't have the reach. Whether you like it or not, he's short as fuck. He's not going to be able to reach me while backing up. When he sees all my skills, he'll run away. I'm taking him down. I got some shit for him. Shit for him.
Fellas.
Hey, how you doing?
Do you know what, though?
What's going on?
Hi, John. Hello, mate. Do you know what, though? With that coronavirus thing going on, with the fights having to be stacked up, don't be surprised if Tank does fight on the Zone on that one, because how Haim is just not going to have the dates to fill all these gaps for his fight, so he's going to have to let some of them go to the Zone, and that'd probably be a big payday for him. So yeah, don't be surprised to see if that.
Let me just get my nut off real quick.
Go ahead, John.
Because I seen Revolution just jumped on you. Let me get my nut off on this fight. Fuck this fight. It ain't worth a shit. Both of them haven't fought, proven, or accomplished a goddamn thing. The only thing I'm looking forward to about this fight is that I get to see a loudmouth punk get his ass beat. Whether it's one or the other, it don't matter to me. Okay? So there's no bias here. I don't give it. One of them, man, like I was saying before, bro, you should have billed this fight as Fat Boy versus Fruitcake. That's what this fight should be billed. Fat Boy versus Fruitcake, Battle of the Twitter. That should be fucking these dudes ain't fighters, bro. They're little vaginas, dog. Okay, they're not, bro. Neither one of them want to fight nobody. Fucking Ryan Garcia's dad was just up in here last week. No, I don't know about taking that Linares fight. And what the fuck does Amir Khan fighting Amir Khan now prove to you?
He doesn't even want to. He doesn't even want to fight him. He wants to spar him.
Spar.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what weight would he fight Amir Khan?
Soft, bro. Fucking Ryan Garcia is talking about they should put this on an $80 pay-per-view. I'll tell you what, Oscar. If I give you $80, that better come with a ring girl to suck me dry for the whole weekend.
Oh, now wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is a family show, man. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. But I'm just making the point. Go. I don't waste one red nickel on this piece of shit fight. That's all.
Yeah. The you could do, I mean, like I said, is make it like KSI Logan, where it's a bit cheaper. I think it was about a tenner. But over there, I don't know what it was over there, but it wasn't the full whack like you usually is. So that they could do that, but you can't charge $80 for fucking Tank versus Ryan Garcia. Come on, man.
Listen, well, actually, before I go on, Revolution, your thoughts? Revolution? He's probably cooking or playing the guitar or something. Yeah. Darn hippie. All right, well,
Where's Recognize is on there? Where's Recognize?
He hasn't shown up yet. He's probably cruising the streets of New York, playing vigilante in there or something. He's playing what's
Like
the name of the
Will Smith in I Am Legend.
I hope he's got his mask and his gloves on.
All right, listen. I want to say something about Johnny Boy. I know Johnny Boy's his shtick is that he shoots from the hip, right? But I gotta keep it real a little bit. It's a good fight. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. It's two young guys, undefeated, fast-handed, seemingly with some pop in their midst now. So why not make it? But of course, the problem here is it's probably was that Bucho?
No, go ahead.
The problem is I don't think it's going to happen because. Or at least not yet, because both guys have options that they can milk. For example, Tank Davis, PBC, they could keep feeding him featherweights, Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz. And with Garcia, he's got Linares lined up, which I don't know if he actually makes it past that. He probably will, but I mean, it's not a surefire thing. And they can also keep feeding him a couple of junior lightweights, maybe drain some junior welterweights to come down and fight him. You know what I mean? So like they have options, but eventually they are going to have to fight.
Yeah, but is Linares' fight actually made then?
I think so, yeah. I actually think it is.
Oh, well, that's a good fight for him. That's a perfect fight for him to get ready for Tank. Yeah, I mean, that's good matchmaking for me. I mean, Linares is on his way down for me, but still, I one time I had Linares in the pound for pound, mate, top 10. I thought he was a brilliant fighter.
Yeah.
I think his chin let him down a little bit, but I thought he was a brilliant fighter, Linares. So yeah, I think that will show us where he is. I mean, if he's not good enough to beat Linares, then
Linares has a chin. Linares has a chin. Everything. He's got like chin lungs. He's chin body. Chin. He's like the guy from Unbreakable, like Samuel L. Jackson's character in Unbreakable. The guy just falls apart. He should be. I wouldn't be surprised if he rolls around his house in a wheelchair with fucking padding on. Every time he falls down, he breaks something.
He just falls to pieces, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He just falls to pieces.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
He looked like shit against Pablo Cesar Cano, man.
Yeah, but then again,
right after the fucking Lomachenko fight, I was a little bit high on him. I wanted to see what he was going to do afterward, and then he just got battered.
I'll tell you what, though, that Linares Kevin Mitchell war, that was a brilliant fight. He made a right mess of Kevin Mitchell.
This is Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia had something to say on Twitter too. Let's see what he had to say.
My pussy hurts. My pussy hurts. I can barely walk some days.
Oh shit, his pussy hurts after what Amir Khan said. By the way, before we continue,
how did you get sound clips on my missus?
No, come on. All right, hold on. Before we continue, we got somebody on the StreamYard. We got Spuddy Spudderson. Spud, you're on the air.
How's it going there, boys?
Oh, it's the Spud. How you doing, Spud?
I'm doing fantastic. Shout out to the whole BDA family. Smack the like button.
What accent is that? What accent is that, by the way?
I'm related to Ian Paisley.
Is that a
Irish? Gypsy Irish.
Just the Irish. All right, Spuddy. What's your thought?
No, it's a Gypsy Irish. It's Gypsy Irish.
I see. I got it. Spuddy, what are your thoughts on Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis?
I think if that fight happens, it's absolutely fantastic. We always love to see two young fighters towards the primes of their career building into becoming something, fighting each other. However, I've got a very big problem with the entire thing. And that's everybody out there overrating them, comparing it to Floyd versus Oscar. Those men were already multiple weight world champions and stars in their own right. People out there are building them up too much, way too much. Ryan Garcia's best win is Duno. You know, like, what? Like, come on. Who the fuck knew who Duno was outside of the Philippines? Nobody.
Okay, now it's turning to a Jamaican accent. What the fuck?
It's not the Jamaican accent. That's the Jamaican accent.
All right.
Now, you need to behave yourself. You're talking to a survivor. I've been through the potato famine. You're barely surviving COVID.
No, wait a minute. I'm doing fantastic over here. My lungs have never been healthier. But all right, Spuddy, I gotta ask you though. What do you think about Ryan Garcia starting to play the heel now? He's starting to turn into a heel. He's starting to play the bad guy. He looks like a bad guy from a 1980s movie now. What do you think? Is this a good turn for him, or is this gonna end up biting him in the ass?
Well, I don't know so much if he's turning into too much of a bad guy. Like, he's starting to turn into Columbo more than anything else with a bit of bad language. He doesn't really have the bite for it, you know. He's kind of coming across as though he's trying to be vicious and comes across like Hercule Poirot instead, the Mexican version.
Now wait a minute. All right,
So,
listen.
no, he doesn't really have it. He's like, oh, I'll fuck Amir Khan up, but he has a smile on his face the entire time, and he doesn't seem too serious about anything he's talking about. Is he going heel? I think he's trying to become more angry, but at the end of the day, he's always going to be a baby face, just with a little bit of bad language.
That's not actually bad language, Spuddy. That's actually the most conservative I've heard you. Now listen, Spud, we got to move on. But by the way, if you see Mark, tell him to hit us up and come on the show, all right?
Okay.
All right. That was Spuddy Sputterson fighting for the Irish during this whole thing. And well, guys, what do you think about what Spuddy said? Guys?
Breaking up, bub.
Am I breaking up? All right. Why, did you hear what Spuddy said, or what happened?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that?
It's all right.
That's all right. All right.
No, I think he's right. I mean, he can. He's Ryan doesn't look like the bad guy. So, but he can become the bad guy. I think just because it matters what you say, and he starts. He might become one of these arrogant fucks that you start hating.
You know, you want to talk bad guys? Let's talk bad guys here. So, to be serious for a second, so we're talking about baby faces and heels. I mean, we're using these terms here, okay? So we got to dip a little bit into wrestling. Okay, you can't criticize me here for dipping into pro wrestling. In the 90s, and I know Bucho's been playing the fucking samples, you know, the sweet and all that, the NWO.
Oh, yeah.
The original fucking cool heels.
Mm-hmm.
So I see if Ryan Garcia is going to be a cool heel, it's going to be because he talks shit and he gets heat from guys. Boy, but girls love him. You know what I mean? So he's going to have
community.
In the gay community. So he's going to have like these fans that just love him because he's adorable. And then you're going to
a bit like Canelo, because the ladies like Canelo, don't they? And that's why that's why there's a lot of Canelo haters. It's usually Mexicans that hate Canelo. That's the thing.
It's true. But this is going to be for like a bit younger demographic, I think. You know, the different generation, a little more American than Mexican.
Yeah, the Mexicans hated De La Hoya too, back in the day. Remember?
Oh yeah, and it's because he beat up Chavez.
Yeah. No, that set them off. Now, I want to share with you guys, because, I mean, he's trying to play the heel, right? Ryan Garcia. But I want to play you guys a clip that I played during the countdown to Canelo Kovalev. Now, you tell me if this guy looks like a heel, right? This is a flashback to November 2019. It's a clip I played in the box during one of the podcasts. You tell me if this guy's a fucking heel. Hold on. I have yet to see anything that would indicate that he's an embarrassment. I mean, he trains hard from what I can see, and I have not seen anything that would indicate.
Oh God!
I mean, do you guys?
What's wrong about that?
You guys think that's the look of a heel man?
The fuck is that?
Is that the look of a heel?
I'm surprised he ain't driving a convertible with his fucking hair. Do you know what I mean? Get out of here, man.
Jesus.
I mean, seriously. I mean, what was that though? I mean, it seems like it's an inauthentic change in attitude, or maybe it's.
You know, he's gonna have the kind of heat like Gold Dust had. The kind of heat. Like Rick the Model Martel.
Right.
You know, these pretty boys. And he's you fucking fag. Like, that's what people are going to come at him with.
Hey,
Ryan Garcia
he does the Gold Dust
direction. He's a sort of guy that plays One Direction and stuff like that.
Imagine he starts kissing guys. He's shaking his ass and shit. He could get in dudes' heads doing that shit.
All I'm waiting for him to do, I could bring out a fucking video on Instagram like Freddie Mercury's in it. I want to break free video. He's sitting there with a duster on and a fucking skirt. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with him, but look, he can still fight. You know, call him a fag at your peril. Because let's be real, the kid's got hands. I wouldn't want him throwing a combination at me. Do you know what I mean? So
you get the Emil Griffith.
You know, Emil Griffith. I mean, he's definitely a guy I'm not calling a fag. I see what happened to the last guy that called him a fag. Do you know what I mean? So, look, there's rumors that there's rumors like that there's been other fighters that have. I mean, Lennox Lewis. There was big rumors that he was. I mean, one of the greats. I mean, there's fighters down the past. Look, De La Hoya. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah.
Who would you be most surprised at if they came out?
Mike Tyson.
Tyson? That's a good one. That's a good one, of course.
Let me just say, my bad. I was doing some dishes or some shit. But anyways,
speaking of faggots, go ahead. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was just gonna say, hey, you bums in the chat, hit the like button, would you please? For Christ's sakes, there's 75 people in here.
That
means less than 1 out of 2 of you hit the fucking like. Hit the fucking like, for God's sake.
Hey, by the way, thank you, Johnny Boy. How do I contact Unrivaled? Because I told him if he wants a link, but I don't fucking
send him a link.
Did you send him a link?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I can try and send it to him.
Yeah, get him rivaled on it. Get him rivaled.
Hey guys,
what's the discussion though?
This is the discussion now. I'm afraid that because Ryan Garcia is backed up, or will eventually be fully backed by the LGBT community, that if at some point, if you start insulting Ryan Garcia, it's like you're gonna be insulting the whole community, and they're gonna come after you.
There's only one homosexual person that I don't insult, okay, and that's Neil Patrick Harris. Everybody else is only because of that Harold and True Martian. He's the fucking goat. But anyways, other than that, he's the goat of the queers. But anyhow, listen, bro. Hey, if I mean, it's obvious the kid's fucking spreading his hair. I'm not even gonna go there. Never mind.
Hey, by the way,
let's not go there.
Look, is Neil Patrick Harris? Is Neil Patrick Harris? Is Neil Patrick Harris a goat or a ram? I think more of a ram because he rams shit up. Anyway, listen. The point is,
Garcia is a product of today's society. He's just a product of today's society where boys have been obviously brainwashed and act feminine and just be retarded. Let's be real. I mean, the way these young guys act these days. I mean, there's not an alpha male bone in their body, is there? Half of them, but. Like I said, Ryan Garcia is just a product of society. He's very feminine. Men have been they just don't make them like they used to, do they?
Mm-hmm.
I sent Mark the link.
All right, perfect. Perfect. But you know what, Stu, that's a great point because at the beginning of this podcast, I mentioned this. This is one of the first times, it's something that we've been waiting for a long time. Boxing 2.0. Young fighters from younger generations in their early 20s, now they're going to be talking smack to each other via the internet. Now, I know it's happened before in small taste, but this is the first time that I've seen where two relatively big names, I said relatively big names, are starting to really fester something really serious over the internet. This is something that's very interesting to watch because they're talking smack back and forth. By the way, if you go to, just real quick, I went to, what's his name? Tank Davis's Twitter page. And somebody, I don't know who he was, but somebody put this picture of Ryan Garcia, Photoshop this. Hold on, let me share it with you guys here on the Discord.
Why can't I move my screen?
I don't know. Well, okay, here it is.
Somebody
put this picture up. I'm thinking that's Tank Davis put that up on Twitter. So
I can't see it.
Man, that's a good one.
Did that, yo.
yo, I can't stand Tank, but that shit's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yo, he gained a couple points with me just now, yo. That's some internet troll shit. Come on, and he's an actual boxer going to that level.
Hold on, who did that?
My question
Tank.
My question is, Revolution, is Ryan Garcia going to be wearing that same fatigue in the ring? Because we all know Tank ain't got no problem hitting a woman. So, I mean...
This is where the gold dust shit could come in because what if Garcia responded by coming to the ring in the fishnets?
Can she come out with the Goldust theme song?
Yeah.
You know what would happen then, Revolution? I'd be rooting for fucking Tank Davis.
Oh, Christ. But now we're bringing identity politics into boxing.
All of that stuff, man. Ryan Garcia should come out for thank you for being a friend from Golden Girls.
Yo.
This little son of a bitch. This Revolution, shut up, hang on. This little son of a bitch wants to charge me $80 fucking dollars. Bro, you better stick that where De La Hoya's used to go on, brother.
Oh,
but there's nothing wrong with the reason Garcia started mouthing off and giving it a big one is because it pays over there to do that. I mean, when you look how Broner's made a living out of that, because he hasn't made a living out fighting in the boxing ring because he gets in there and stinks the fucking joint out. So, but he keeps getting in these big fights, and his mouth is the one, and his bad behaviour is what's getting him. I mean, it sort of pays in certain Western countries now to act like a fucking idiot. And that's just the society we're in, and that's what I'm saying. They're jumping on the bandwagon now.
Yeah.
A lot of them are. I mean, when you see a lot of the press conferences, you know, where's all these beefs come from? All these now all of a sudden, all these American fighters are beefing in the press conference. They were like fucking blocks of wood, like a few years ago. Like when we needed them to fucking be like that, they were like blocks of wood. All of a sudden, everyone's beefing, and it's getting quite exciting. Yes, it is, but it's all fake. You can see through it, and that's because this is what's Eddie Hearn's another one that encourages beefs. I've heard through someone that's obviously in a boxer himself, and he trained. Well, he's not like a known boxer, but he trains with known fighters. And he's even said Eddie Hearn promotes that shit from the background. Do you know what I mean? He sort of like stirs the beefs and tells them to have fake beefs and stuff, and tells them what to say. So this is a society we're in where it's all manufactured beefs.
And social media too. Social media plays a big part.
It's manufactured beefs.
It's always over the little wall, you know.
Is that a problem? Is that a problem?
Yes, because you're not getting. I mean, but anything that's fake, it's like when you watch these repossession shows, these repo shows, and they're fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, how fake are these fucking shows?
Yeah.
Man? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, those are fake.
I mean, once something's not authentic to me, I won't watch it.
Oh, wait a minute, Stu. What about fake? Hold on. Stu, what about? I gotta call you out. What about fake tits? You get a problem with those two?
Listen, I've dated quite a few girls with silicone tits, and I fucking hate them.
Yeah,
they're just like, hey, they don't feel real. They just feel horrible. You know, like stress balls. Can you remember back in the 80s when they said them stress balls? That's what the squeezing one of them's like. Fucking every time I got in the mood, I just grabbed hold of a fucking tit.
I was just gonna say, I know Stu and BDA and Mark have all seen fake tits before, like in person, as I have. Some of those fucking things ain't put together right. It looks like a fucking buffoon, bro. I'll tell you what.
Oh, right. You left me out of that one.
So we're comparing.
This girl I was dating called tits. This girl I dated called
Sometimes it looks
Steph,
like the Elephant Man's had a disagreement with.
Listen, here's but I get Stu's
this
point.
girl I was dating called Steph, right? She paid $6,000 for these tits, right?
Oh,
but she was always embarrassed about showing them. I says, "What's the point of fucking paying for them?" She goes, "Just to make me feel good." I want, but you know, the point of paying $6,000 is to fucking flaunt them in it. But she paid $6,000 for these tits, but basically just to make her feel good. But was all stuck shy around them, always covering them up. I'm like, get your fucking arms out the way. I want to have a look.
Let me see those tits.
You know what I mean?
Let me see those tits.
But yeah, so some do it
tits.
for that. Some do it because they've had that many fucking kids.
Beautiful set of tits.
Their tits are dragging across the floor. So.
Hey man, I'd rather see a fucking. I'd rather see him get the motherfucking reduction before they get the fake ones put in. You know,
how about Revolution? How about just leave?
Hey, shut up! I know it's gonna be some shit.
No. How about you just leave them fucking normal, like you're supposed to be doing anyway?
Put it right between the tits.
Listen, when I see a normal set, that's a nice firm normal set. Just looks a lot nicer.
Completely agree, but in some cases, I'll be honest, fake tits are a must because some of y'all.
Nah, they're not. They're fucking horrible.
Nah. Some of those girls out there, they've got tits out there. Now we can say fake tits are horrible, but if they do a good job on the fake tits, they look a hell of a lot better than the ones that be looking like deformities. Like
I know. Yeah, but I've seen some good fucking boob jobs. I just don't think they're very nice to touch. They just don't feel real. They just don't feel part of that girl. It's like it's a bit of silicone. Like I said, it's fucking stress ball. That's what it was to me. I mean,
it's like punching a fucking volleyball over here.
You guys are fucking.
When you get a nice pair of big natural swinging udders, you know how they feel. You can't replicate that. You know.
All right, listen. We gotta move away from the fucking.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on, people. Come on. We're stuck on tits. We're stuck on tits here.
What are you, a 1940s hippie?
How did we get on the tits, by the way?
Yeah. We're talking about fake.
Why not?
Fake,
hey, it's on.
Fake fights.
You
Sorry.
fucked my tits. You fucked my tits. Came all over my fucking face.
All right,
All
listen.
right.
That's enough of the tits. I said. Let's go.
Let's move on. Everybody, shut up. BDA, go ahead.
Let me see those tits.
Bunch of fucking queers.
Beautiful set of
Enough of
tits.
tits. Okay, enough.
Beautiful.
Dude, I can only imagine
bites.
Revolution's fucking red hair breezing through some fucking fucking
Beautiful.
flopping around.
Revolution looking like a fucking Mick Hucknall.
All right, we got.
Revolution looks like the ginger version of the Grudge, rubbing up and down some fake tits.
It's a family show. This is a family show. We gotta move on.
Looks like Mick Hucknall. Hold on.
Me.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. This is a family show. We gotta move on. Family show.
Beautiful set of tits. How about you let me fuck them?
Shut up. All right, listen. All right. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Okay. So I get Stu's point though. If it's a manufactured beef, okay, I'm not gonna fall for it. That being said, though, you gotta give the UFC some credit. Like you got Masvidal versus Usmani or whatever his name is, that African dude who changed his name. You've had other beefs like John Jones versus Cormier, and they really take it into the press conferences. They start talking smack. You can tell it's genuine. And even if it's not genuine, they make it entertaining, and that actually attracts a lot of big numbers and a big audience and a big social media presence. And I said, you know what? It's about time boxing started doing that. Boxing is always slow to catch onto these new waves. The internet's been around for a long time now, and it's only now that we're starting to see young fighters taking advantage of it. And if I'm Oscar De La Hoya and Al Haymon or whatever, I'm pretty sure Al Haymon's not going to do it, but try to milk this, man. Milk this feud for all it's worth, man, because I'm telling you, it's going to create some hype, even amongst non-boxing fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Let's see, like how do like new boxing fans get hooked? Because that's kind of what we're talking about a little bit. We got two young fighters, talking Tank, we're talking Garcia. This is going to bring young people to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So what really does it take? You got to kind of imagine, you're not a boxing fan, right? You're young. You see a fight. Like, what's the next step? You see two guys fight. You want to see, you know these two guys, and now you want to watch either one of them fight. And it kind of gets exponential from there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like from two, then you see their next fights, and that's, 4 people. And then it goes on to like 8 people and shit. So it's not only the fact, it's not only the fight. Hold on. I'm almost done. It's not only the Davis Garcia fight, it's what they're going to do afterward. Almost like setting up tournaments and shit, like the progression.
Mm-hmm.
Get people
Boxing, I just don't think you can. Like, you'll get casuals that'll tune into one fight here and there for big fights, but I don't think you can. Like, look how many years people have been trying to get boxing to grow and get people on side. I mean, you just got to like it. It's got to be born in you. You got to be. Like I said, it's got to be born in you, I think, to like boxing. Some people see boxing as a blood sport and like shy away from it. Some people just don't find it entertaining. But from a kid, it was in for me. Like I said, when I was a kid, I was staying up till ridiculous times to watch like Leonard and Hagler and stuff. I mean, fucking ridiculous age. I was only young at the time. Do you know what I mean? I should have been in bed, but most kids my age wouldn't even have known who Hagler was. You just got. You got. I think it comes from your dad, sort of thing. I think when your dad's a big boxing fan, it sort of like lets you stay up to watch the fights. And like my old man took me to watch Nigel Benn as a kid.
Oh.
Or Nigel Benn was at anyone. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
So
that's how you become
me, for example, though, Sue, is totally different from you, because you started from a young age. I just kind of stumbled into it. And then,
yeah, but you're not really a boxing. You're not really a true boxing head, though. That's what I'm saying. You're like a
fucking hell.
The fuck,
yeah.
Hey,
I'm trying though.
Yeah, definitely. I'm saying no, but I'm not knocking you for it. I'm not knocking you for it. I'm just saying, but there's a lot of conversations we'll sit in there, and you'll be like, "Well, I'm going to stay out of this," because you're new to the sport. I'm saying,
you're true. Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
You learn. So what I'm saying, it's not bred into you. It's something that you've picked up, and you obviously. You like being with us, you like talking boxing with us, and you're picking it up and you're enjoying the sport, but it's not bred into you. Most of us on here, boxing's bred into us from an early age, especially in the UK and Mexico. I mean, especially Mexico and the UK. I mean, they're probably the top 2 countries where boxing's bred in from an early age, and that's why boxing is still is one of the biggest sports in the UK still.
But then it begs a question. Then what was it that hooked me? You know what I mean? Because I stumbled into it. I like it. Like, what hooked me, and how did I like get into it?
Well, how about you fucking tell us?
I'm
What did?
I just, you know what it was? A fucking Coconut Creek Casino, Chauncey Welliver, and there's like some sea breeze or something coming in. I think it's from Jimmy standing by the coast.
What the fuck are you talking about right now?
There's like this. It's like you heard that?
I died.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
I watched some shitty heavyweight fight, and I was like doing martial arts at the time, and I'm like, all right, I want to know about boxing. Shit, I want to like know the art of what they're doing, and I want to understand the punches and like and I just. From there,
but the thing is, to understand boxing, though, bro, to understand boxing, you've got to understand the history of the sport. And then when you start watching that, that's when you start to pick up the rest, and then you start to look at fights and know how to read a fight, or you know how to call a fight. And that just comes.
And can I add something to that real quick, if you don't
go
mind?
ahead.
I was just gonna say, fucking, yeah, dude. I mean, you got to remember, from fucking Mark's the same way. Your fucking grandpa was telling me about Archie Moore and fucking Ezra Charles and Marciano and Willie Pep and all these guys when I was fucking 6, 7, 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying. My old man would buy me the old VHS videos for Christmas of the boxing, and you know, like where you got like I said, you went back to Jack Johnson. Even when Jack Dempsey beat Jess Willard to a pulp, them fights, I had all them. I had Dempsey, Gene Tunney,
Firpo.
I had who else did I have?
You would have had Dempsey.
Max Bear v Primo Canero. All them fights, I watched all of them on VHS. They were just, you know, I just love boxing. Most of the kids in my age didn't know. They were fucking playing with Luke Skywalker figures and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
All right, now before
hold on.
Before we continue, I just want to say we got Jimmy in the house. Jimmy, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. Thank you for being on.
What's that, brother?
Thank you for being on.
What's up, Jimmy? It's my
what's going on, man? I just fucking trying to say.
Hey, Jimmy hasn't been on the show. Jimmy,
yes.
Can you tell us your thoughts on the whole Fury glove thing?
You have to go there.
Listen. I lay this all at the feet of Wilder, all of it. If you go back and you really look at it, he did everything he could to make this racial. From the song, his comments, everything he could. And listen, what I did was I went and watched, like, even listened to some more of the, kind of obsolete podcast. I didn't want to just start saying, hearing one or two people and then make a comment. So I really have a lot of downtime, when I'm in the car, listen to them. And almost to a man, they're all like, Wild, what made it worse? He made a point to make it about race. And this is his fans saying it. Okay. So he did that. So of course, once you do that, you add that element to his fan base that he made it so racial. And to, Tyson's credit, he didn't give. He kept saying from the beginning, "Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit." Just be, a fight. So what happened when he lost? He let his fans down in a way that he knew he let them down. And they even said that. The one kid, Family First, whatever, he's in a podcast. He's saying, this was a somber, the worst ending to a Black History Month. I mean, they're just going to that depth. So when you bring in that kind of visceral, like, emotion to it, they're all searching. And yeah, I think he slap punched him a few times, which some guys do, because they'll listen. It sucks to get slapped on the inside, somebody and scratch your face, catch you in the eye, and whatnot. But to think he could fold his fist down into the fucking dude has dinner plate hands. All right, then they're wrapped, and then the fucking logic they're using, they're pointing to the inside, like, look at, you can see the skin there. If that's wrapped, there's supposed to be no. Like, are you serious, dude? You just stopped following this fucking game? Like, everybody knows this. You know what I mean? Like, and then they're like, it's pinched together. That's two knuckles. I'm like, no, that's the skin in his palms, because I've had my hands wrapped so many times. The minute I looked at it, I knew. And so I got to say too, like what you were saying, boxing head, the Stu's credit there. Dude, that's the first memories of my life of boxing, even when I didn't want it to be. I got dropped off at the gym when my grandfather, babysat me. I'm talking about little, like they had to fucking tie me up one time because I chipped down to walk out. I'm talking like 3 years old. Then the Golden Gloves, grew up there, and then,
this is having thing, mate. My dad, it comes from a young age. Your dad, he buy you boxing gloves. Like I said, when my mates are getting the the new Star Wars spaceships, and I was getting a punching bag and boxing gloves. And me and my brother used to punch fuck out of each other until it got, bloody each other up and stuff at a young age. It was just in us from the start. Like I said, I was allowed. My old man allowed me to stay up just for boxing. I couldn't just stay up and watch anything. I couldn't stay up and watch a movie.
Stu, my dad used to get on his hands and knees with me, and he used to let me tee off on him on the face, bro. That's what he used to. He used to just let me just go to town, dude. It ain't gonna hurt me. Yeah. Just go to town, dog.
Because my dad was an alpha male. I mean, he was sort of teaching me to be a sort of a male, an alpha straight away. He was getting me boxing gloves. There's no more alpha male sport than boxing, and he wanted me to be able to look after me, and it helped because I said I was quite a tasty little guy at school growing up. I could throw hands. Do you know what I mean? And I just, like I said, he wouldn't let me stay up for any other reason but to stay up and watch. But in my early memories, like I said, Hagler, Leonard. I remember the early Tyson fights. I remember watching Trevor Berbick stumbling all over the place, getting up about 2 or 3 times and falling over again. I was just, it was just bred in me, and that's what I'm saying. Boxing is a sport where you either love it or you hate it. It's one of them.
Jimmy, how's the corona hitting New England up there, brother?
It's getting pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't mind being a shut-in. I got shit to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody's complaining, like, dude, you know what? Fuck it. I don't know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I'm telling you, this is all too convenient that shit just popped out the fucking, you know what I mean? The Mao's revenge lecturing you. The guy, they want that dude and his sanctions the fuck out of here, you know? Yeah. They want to go back to bending over the United States, you know, to stealing our economy and our jobs with impunity. But let's go back to boxing. But yeah, no, same thing, dude.
I already know where you're going.
Yeah, but fucking dude, it's all I remember, man. It's all I remember. Plus, I lived in Lowell, which is a fight town, and I used to be driving to Lowell to Lowell, home of the Golden Gloves. It's where they hold. They still hold it, actually, the regionals, and I grew up, walking distance from that, and so. But that's all we ever knew. Plus, again, living in a fucking poor ass mill town, surrounded by wealthy communities. Over the years, it's where all the wealth moved out to. So they looked down at us, so that's all we had. You know what I mean? So, but. Again, it's definitely one of those things you pass on. It's the sport's not doing itself any favors. I mean, we talk about great fights. It ain't happening. I mean, how long has it been since fucking Crawford? I mean, Christ, it's been years for these
generation
guys.
Of fighters. Floyd and Manny sent boxing back fucking a long way.
Oh, I mean, terrible.
It's only still recovering now from what Manny and Floyd did to boxing that night.
Dude, and, Giovanni Davis has been a champion for over 3 years. That's a long period of time. Over 3 years, he's fought one top 10 opponent in his entire career. That was 3 years ago. That was a weight-drained Pedraza. Since then, it's been a fucking one cab driver after fucking Gamboa, one-legged Gamboa. It took him the fucking ride. It's a joke. You know what I mean? What did I see the other day? Somebody wrote, if his life wasn't such a fucking train wreck, he'd be irrelevant. And then they're talking about literally trying to clout chase this kid his way to a pay-per-view. I mean, dude, you have not fought anybody. Your toughest opponent has been the scale. And then you fucking turn around and you want to put this clown on a pay-per-view because he sold out 2/3 of an arena in Atlanta. You know what I mean? A black kid selling out 2/3 of an arena in Atlanta. How about, and then they try to talk about Lomachenko's numbers. The kid's from Ukraine. Imagine if there was a city, just picture a city anywhere in the United States that had 500,000 Ukrainians. How fast do you think they'd sell 23,000 seats?
Jimmy, the thing is, right? The thing is, there's probably a handful that do good numbers. The rest just do poor numbers, and that's just it. Mm-hmm. That's how boxing is right now. I mean, you can talk about Lomachenko. These people can talk about Lomachenko not getting numbers, but American fighters are not even getting numbers. Deontay Wilder, the reason that fight was so big was because of Tyson Fury. Let's keep it real. Take Tyson Fury at that fight. Wilder's not doing it.
Wilder Ortiz too didn't do 200,000 pay-per-views.
There you go.
They didn't even do 200,000.
You need a dance partner, and like I said, there's probably 4 or 5 fighters. These are the fighters that I think that could basically they're stars, and they could fucking carry an event and get good numbers, no matter who they fight. Let's just say that. And I'd say Canelo's one. I'd say Joshua's another one. Fury's another one. Who would you say after that? I mean, probably. Do you reckon Golovkin can still?
Yeah, he'll be able. He could do some numbers still.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say Fury internationally. Right? Yeah, I agree with you. I think Fury right now.
But Pacquiao. Yeah, Pacquiao's the other one. Pacquiao's another one. But that's it. I mean, when you talk about all the fighters in boxing, they're the only 5 that could probably hold an event together and get good numbers, no matter who they fight. And this is where we are. So, look, yeah, when you see a big event in boxing today, usually if it's not one of them names I've mentioned, it's usually like Eddie Hearn's done, like we put 2 solid opponents together, and it always a British domestic fight where the Brits like to get behind them sort of battles, like White, Chisora, that sort of thing. But still, there's just not the numbers there in boxing right now.
Now it's interesting because we got these guys like.
The thing is, bro, if you want to make the numbers, you got to make the fucking fights happen.
Of course you have, Johnny. They've let it stew too long. When Wilder Joshua could have put boxing back on the top. That fight would have been massive. It would have been huge worldwide. It'd have been explosive. Everyone would have got on board with that, but they just let it. They just left it too long, and before you know it, like I said would happen when they were both unbeaten. You leave this too long, these two are both a knockout waiting to happen, and that's
dude, they left so much fucking money on the table with that shit. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars, bro. They fucked up.
I just think it would have been a massive event, and it would have put boxing in the public eye for a while, and it would have been good for boxing. But they, like I said, this is why boxing's separate, because they're not fighting each other.
Stu, but you know what though, bro? Fuck them. That's what they get for not making the fucking fight.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm glad they both. That's why I'm glad they both lost in a way. I'm glad they both lost because they fucked us about for years. Eddie Hearn as well. Watching Eddie Hearn squirm.
Yeah. Hey, Stu, you want to hear it?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, fucking dude. It's on my mind. You guys want to hear something that really sucks? All my fucking boxing, but majority of my back boxing paraphernalia is gone, dude. My boy's fucking house flooded, and it got destroyed because he wasn't in. It's set, dude. Listen, Mickey Ward's robe from fucking '86 when he was on the Sugar Ray Leonard Marvin Hagler undercard. I had his robe. I had my great uncle's robe. He wore when he took the pictures for the cover of Ring magazine, 1926, I think it was. I had signed autographed fucking gloves from Archie Moore, fucking dude from Willie Pep, Alexis Alguello. Oh, dude, all kinds of shit destroyed, just turned to mush. It was underwater for a while.
Yeah,
I just found out like fucking 2 days ago. I was pretty bummed out. Yeah, a lot of history there got destroyed.
Well, you and Recognize can start a group of disgruntled boxing fans because his girlfriend or ex-wife, I forget which one, threw away his box of boxing tape. So I understand he probably understands how you feel, man. That's gotta suck, man. I mean, fucking. How did it flood? But how did it flood anyway? Was it a boiler or something that?
No, he had it was down in a base. Well, I haven't gone over and seen it yet. I haven't brought myself to see it. It was he had where he lives. He had a big house and a smaller house, and while he was renovating, he moved into the smaller house. And in the basement, during the winter, he wasn't doing work on the house, and I guess a pipe burst. Yada yada yada. To me, sometimes excuses sound like fucking, reasons and excuses are the same. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Whatever. I just didn't really want to get into grave detail much, so because I know one of those robes were worth at least $10,000.
Oh,
at least. Oh yeah,
no,
dude.
I got you.
Oh yeah, dude. I had some crazy shit. In there.
I wanted to point something out. I wanted to point something out in regards to Ryan Garcia because again, it's interesting how things turn out. Right, a year ago, most people would have picked Tank Davis to beat him. Now all of a sudden, Ryan Garcia has 2 first-round knockout wins, and all of a sudden, some people are starting to pick him against Garcia again. Tank Davis. But it's interesting because I was talking to Butch about this. Mike Tyson, when he went 12 rounds against Mitch Green and James Stillis, I believe, it was the first time he went 12 rounds. He didn't look all that great. He lost a little luster back then. So what did his managers do? They put him in there back against 2 guys that was going to stand in front of him, make him look good, and he was back to knocking them out. And all of a sudden, people started talking about him again. That's great matchmaking, and that's the same thing that's happened right now with Ryan Garcia. But here's the thing about Ryan Garcia, because I wanted to talk about this in the beginning of the show, but we get into the whole is he a power bottom thing? Ryan Garcia has power. Ryan Garcia has very good hand speed. His style works because of his hand speed. He backs. He doesn't really move his head. His defense is dependent upon his footwork. He takes a step back and counters you with quick shots, but they're not combination punches. So my thing is, put him in there against a guy who's going to match his hand speed. A guy like Linares might do that in their next fight. And let's see how he does against that. Let's see him fight a pressure fighter who can get past his first 2 shots. And let's see if he can actually string some combinations together. Because, guys, so far, I haven't seen that yet. I mean, I'm impressed with the first round knockouts, but experience tells me not to put too much stock into that. What do you guys think about that?
Well, if you remember, go back at any show you talked about Ryan Garcia. I was never shitting on him. I know it was like a lot of people, especially beginning, because I think that kid cultivated that side of him.
Mm-hmm.
He caught a lot of hate. I just wanted to kind of sit back and see. I'm telling you, I'm impressed with that kid, and I'm even more impressed since the Renassos, or I butchered that name, have got involved with him. Listen, he's training with top. Like the days of him in his garage and the fucking slinky things he made up and the fucking hanging from the ceiling. You know, those days are done. They won't put it, you know what I mean? And it showed me 2 things. He was willing to put in the work because they're not going to take in some fucking just anybody. You know what I mean? So he was willing to put in the work. And I hear he's throwing hands like hard with Canelo, taking shots. You know what I mean? So he's in there sparring with people hard, and they say he cracks. And again, it's all about his speed and timing. Listen, that knockout shot of Francesca was nasty. That was a nasty that was a counter. They were, you know what I mean? Boom! He checked that motherfucker good. Yeah, that kid, I'm telling you, I'm impressed. Tank wouldn't want nothing to do with him right now. No way would Floyd match him because you got to go back your last showing. You know what I mean? Fucking Tank looked like a fat, miserable bastard trying to one-shot a fucking one-legged, retiree. And you got Garcia out there fucking, glory shot him in the first round. Was it the first or the second? It was just ba-boom. And so, yeah, no, he's dialed in. You get that mindset, and he's dialed in. He's confident as a motherfucker right now. He's got quicker hands. And one thing I would say, if there was a glaring problem with Tank, he's a crab man. Everything's fucking comes from the side. He never really throws directly down the middle with power. He'll snap one off now and then, but his wingers come from the fucking hip and the turn. So you get time to fucking catch him.
Thing with Tank though, he throws shots from unorthodox angles, and he throws punches. When he's on his game, obviously when he's not, he looks a mess. I know that, but he's
the little guy attack. Yeah, he has to cover ground.
He comes under shots, and like I said, he sort of takes one to throw to land 2 or 3. If you get what I'm saying, he's willing to do that, and I've seen it with him.
Neck, dude. Yeah, he's got a gallon neck, so I'd be surprised if Tank one shots him, but
this one I'm saying.
You got to be careful. Chubby bootleg ass Roy Jones is what he is.
He's got a thick neck. It's hard to stay fat in the neck, even when he gets thin. His neck stays, and that's where it all is, man. It's all in your jaw, and if you got a thick neck, you can take a good shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in most cases.
Quite snappy. Tank's quite snappy with his punches. If you get reckless with him, I think you can be in big trouble. I mean, Ryan Garcia can't be flying in like he usually does. I mean, Tank's because he's got short arms, he's got T-Rex arms. He's quite dangerous in the pocket because he's quite tiny, isn't he? And he can come underneath your shots and start. And he, like I said, he throws good combinations when he's on his game. But depends what Tank turns up. But I think if he was to fight Ryan Garcia, I think he'd come in shape and I think he'd be ready.
Yeah, because Stu, you've said when we've spoken about Tank Davis in the past, you've been one of the few that says, "No, let's listen, guys. Okay, he's a little bit overrated. He's not the next Floyd Mayweather, but he's very dangerous." And Ryan Garcia has never.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ryan Garcia has never fought a guy who has a mix of power and hand speed like Tank Davis. So
the thing is with Tank, right? What you got to remember with Tank as well, we've not seen him at his best. So if someone can grab hold of him, fucking slap him around the face, wake him up, get him in shape, and get him at his best, he's going to be a fucking handful for anybody. Let me tell you that now. I know talent when I see it. That's one thing about me. I spot a talent in a boxing ring, and I know straight away. Even poor performances after that won't convince me that he's not talented, because I've seen it. Even with Broner, I've seen the talent with Broner. That's just heart and will and desire to win, just hasn't any. So, but Tank, I see a bit more in Tank. I think this kid, like I said, if someone could just get hold of him, slap him slap him around the face, wake him up a bit, and get him into gear, I think he could be a fucking handful for anyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, too many things are said negative of fighters whenever they have a poor performance and their career isn't going in the right way, like, or how we want it to go. Like, we know the big problems with Tank. He's eating himself out of weight. He's not staying truly disciplined. He's controversial behind the scene instances with his baby mama, whatever. And people just write it down as, the guy is a bad fighter or what. He's not. He's actually a very skilled kid. Very skilled. Great hand power. He's got a lot of good timing when he uses it. Sure, he had a bad performance against Gamboa. There's a lot of circumstances. Maybe he just overlooked them. That can happen. That's not me making any excuses. Maybe he just overlooked them. He was shit, and then whatever, and he didn't perform really well, and he gassed. Maybe that's a coming up in weight thing. But he is an issue, man. He carries good power. He is fast.
The thing is, though, like Mark Tyson Fury's performance before Wilder. Look at that. I mean, it's a different day. It's a different occasion, different opponent. Sometimes you can just turn up on the night, everything clicks into gear and it works and you look amazing. Sometimes you turn up, you're flat, nothing's happening, nothing's working. And I see it like with a lot of fighters. I think with Tank, I think if he's up for a fight, a bit like Tyson Fury, Billy Joe, some of them sort of guys, if they're up for a fight, you'll see the best of them.
Absolutely.
You know what scares me about that kid is it's been 3 out of the last 5 fights. He's missed weight. And even this last one, he had to, go back twice. That's a serious, like you said, lack of discipline. That's only going to get worse with money.
But the thing is, though, with discipline, bro, that can be sorted out. Because these fighters, one day they do grow up eventually and think, when there's no more partying to do, and when all their friends are fucking shot or in jail, they've got no one to go drinking with. They might wake up one day and think, fucking hell, I could make myself a good living here. Still in the best years of my life. I'm going to crack down. I'm knuckled down now and get on with it. And I think if you can get, if you get Tank, yeah, I do believe Tank Davis one day. I think so. If he gets with the right team, the thing is, if you surround him with the wrong people, then you're not going to get any. If he's surrounded by yes men, does Floyd Mayweather care about Tank Davis's career? He's turned down multi-million-pound contracts for the guy. He doesn't give a shit about. He's all about himself. The only reason he's still got Tank is so he can stay relevant. Let's be real. Look, he's surrounded himself with the wrong people. If he was with Eddie Hearn, Tank Davis would be, trust me, Tank Davis would be in big fights and he would be looking a lot better than he does now.
If he was with anybody other than Floyd.
Yeah. And trainer as well. I mean, Tank needs, I'll tell you what Tank needs. Tank needs to go to Big Bear. He needs to travel up there to go and see Abel Sanchez. Because Abel Sanchez, that style will suit Abel Sanchez style, Tank. I think that sort of style suits him. And get him out of the way from all that mad lifestyle. Get him up in them fucking high altitude conditions. Get him fit. And you get a fit Tank Davis with his mind right, then I think he goes through Ryan Garcia.
I've often thought a good trainer for him would actually be Teddy Atlas. He needs a motivator, someone who's going to be making him live the life, live every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what? The thing is, you've got to get him away from the area, the distractions. Big Bear, his friends are not going to turn up with a fucking 6-pack of Big Bear, are they? So this is the thing. Teddy can do all the work in the gym in the day, but Teddy can't be watching him at night. In Big Bear, Abel's like he's like an owl, isn't he? Waiting for a rodent to pass by. He's just there watching you all fucking night.
And what about Virgil Hunter? Virgil Hunter, maybe ex-cop. He knows how to talk to a fellow brother.
I mean, right now we don't need
Tank
Virgil
already went
whispering
through
in his
weird
ear.
shit as a kid. We don't need him to be molested again.
Yeah.
All right, man. By the way, this is what
Tank doesn't need it. Go on, Tank. Whoop that ass.
This is what Virgil Hunter would tell Tank Davis in between rounds.
Fuck me up the ass with your hot teenage cock.
Oh, that's too accurate, right there, man. All right.
Christ.
All right, listen. By the way, we got
knowing Tank Davis, he'd probably bang Virgil Hunter's daughter, Keisha Coles.
Oh, all right. Listen, we got recognized.
Girl, bro, you best back off.
We got recognized the Matrix and Gonzalo on the line, so now we got a packed. We got a packed house, and I'm hearing some echo there in the background. That's on me. I think that's Gonzalo. Anyway, listen. I wanted to say something here about Ryan Garcia because, all right, Tank Davis. If he gets in shape, that's like what we heard about Zab Judah for 15 years. If Zab Judah goes in shape, and then he finally got in shape against Amir Khan, and he wet the bed. So maybe with Tank Davis, even if he does get in shape, maybe it's not enough to beat a guy like Ryan Garcia. But speaking of Ryan Garcia, all right, I want to show you guys a picture here. I'm pretty sure you're already familiar with it, but he really does seem to have gained some more musculature since joining the Reynoso. So I want to ask Jimmy, I mean, just allegedly, what's your opinion on Ryan Garcia's weight gain? And do you think it could play a factor in making him better? And how do you think he's gaining this much muscle mass?
Well, he's young enough where he wouldn't need, if through proper diet and training, he could gain the muscle he has gained there. Wait a minute, that's not him right there. Is that fucking, that's doctored? That's got to be doctored, right? That's somebody fucking around.
Yeah, that's not. Can't be him.
Imagine if it is.
That's not him. That's
You know what?
doctored. My eyes ain't that great right now. It's a little picture, but. Hold on.
If that's a picture in a gym, if that's a picture of him just training, he's probably about 150 pounds there anyway, isn't he?
Right.
But if that's a real picture of him, he's saucing out of his tits. Hold on, my dog's attacking.
That picture's from that guy, the YouTube channel who looks at bodies. And
I can't see it, man, because for some reason it's not showing up.
Well, I took it off, but let me put it back on.
It's not loading up for some reason.
All right, now you can click on
Boxing
my...
Physique. Yeah. That's from Boxing Physique, that channel. He has
I don't know if he's that. He definitely got bigger. But Ryan Garcia.
That's a different body, though.
Ryan Garcia looks like he can beat Tank now. Tank is deteriorating, bro. I don't know if you guys realize, but he's regressing. And look, here's the signs that you got to look at. He's tired. He's got low output. He has, because he's a light-skinned black kid, he shows a lot of wear and tear of a guy who's like abusing his body. He's drinking way too much, and he's only 25, so it's not gonna get better.
Yeah.
Like his window is closing fast.
No, really, but that's what's on his side, though.
Kid. Hold on, what's the light skin connection there?
The French.
Yo,
yeah, what is
it?
What are you talking
like
about?
A gimp, nigga. The fuck?
All right, hold on. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Recognize what's the light skin connection you mentioned? Because that's like sounds like something out of
what that's about is, you see, when you're darker, you kind of like show signs, but you show it in like the stress in your eyes. He shows it in his skin. It's just part of.
Yeah, but recognize you're going on like he's fucking Rocky Balboa's mixed race son or something.
No. Listen. I think you guys are misunderstanding what I'm trying to say. The guy is deteriorating. He's deteriorating. It shows.
Yeah, I agree with you. What I'm saying. Yeah,
if you don't understand the difference between light skin and dark skin, then I don't understand.
I don't see race, by the way. I don't see race.
No,
everybody's equal to me. So
this is not.
I know what you're saying. Listen.
Lighter skinned people show more.
Yeah, they mark up
more stress when they party too much.
Right.
It's true. No, it's true what Recognize is saying, and they mark up quicker in fights as well. You've only got to look at James DeGale. He looked like a fucking truck at him every fight he was in. So, yeah, I agree with Recognize. I think, and like I said, the wear and tear of the lifestyle. I think with the less melanin you got in your skin, sort of thing, it takes more toll.
He shows it.
Yeah,
you ain't lying. You ain't lying. I just Google imaged it. Yeah, like right around the eyes, he's got like crow's feet and shit, and like
and here's the thing. What he reminds me of a guy who's addicted. He's not going to change his lifestyle. It's not going to happen.
I don't know though. Recognize. Everyone, I think sometimes people do turn a leaf. I mean, he might realise that this is what else is he going to do? I mean, what other talents does Tank Davis have? I mean, because he's not got a rapping career ahead of him, is he?
Tank Davis is more than likely going to get shot one.
I hope not. But look, I think this kid's still young enough.
In America,
still young enough to do it, man. I think he's still young enough to knuckle down and get a couple of good years out.
Here's what's going to happen real quick. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to be thinking it's all sweet chilling in the neighborhood with his fucking jewelry on. He's going to get robbed, and they're going to blast his ass. That's what's going to happen.
About me. See if you ain't heard.
Yeah, that's what's probably going to happen, man. I mean,
he had an opportunity. Like, I know people don't like Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd gave him like, yo, listen, move to Vegas, train over here, stay away from Baltimore. this is what I was told, that Floyd definitely gave him that option, but he chose not to do it because he loves Baltimore as bad as it is. And you got to understand, like we've probably all met people like this in our lifetime,
All right,
where
guys,
they like this dangerous life. He likes that shit. The kid is not confused. He's got money. He prefers this lifestyle. That's what it
all right.
is.
I want to get back to that. Hold on. I want to get back to that. I want to get back to the point of recognize made just real quick because we had somebody waiting on the phone. 929, you're on the air. 929.
What's going on, fellas?
Hello, is this Virtuoso or?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh no, wait. I mean, that's not Virtuoso. Is this Michael Stott?
929 is New York. It's Virtuoso.
It's Virtuoso. Okay. Hey, how are you doing, Virtuoso? Thank you for calling in, man. What's on your mind?
Okay. Before I discuss on this topic, I just want to bring up something. Recognize. Have you ever noticed people around New York City clapping around 7 p.m.? Because I was aware about this like a week ago. Boris Johnson clapping for the NHS, and I guess this thing started to creep up here, and I just kind of feel weird about it.
Some motherfuckers probably think it's gunshots.
Virtuoso, you miserable old sod. Just clap the fucking the medical people that get up in the morning, risk their life with getting this virus so they can help the sick, man. What's wrong with you? Stop being miserable, man.
No, man. Listen. I was being an asshole, and I poked my head out, and I started thanking people. I was like, "Thanks, guys. You know, I appreciate it. I'm just fucking around." But yeah.
I'm only kidding with you, brother. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean, because it started in the UK, where when all the NHS workers would come out their houses to go to work on the street.
You guys are talking over each other. I don't think you could hear him.
I can't hear no one talking over me. So whoever's talking.
All right, if it's Virtuoso, it's because the volume is low here. All right, Virtuoso, go ahead.
No, I just want to chime in on this topic. I'm not going to front. If this technology of communication was available back in the day, you would have had the four kings, bantering over this shit, trying to challenge each other to a fight. I mean, I think Marvin Hagler would have been all up on, Sugar Ray Leonard's DMs telling him, "Yo, it's war. Let's fight. Why are you ducking me?" over and over again. Just using it like a noob, not being savvy enough. But back in the days, you had Rocky 3, where Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa were basically running in the fucking beaches in pom-poms or whatever shorts and cutoffs, and that made me question the manhood. It gave me thoughts. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna call them gay or anything like that, but it gave me thoughts. Now, fast forward to today, I see this Twitter beef between Tank and Ryan Garcia, and I gotta tell you, man, none of these two have any business trying to emasculate each other. When number one, Tank Davis is seen on camera being spooned by Adrian Broner and getting kissed on the lips, getting caught on camera, beating up on his baby mom. And number two, Ryan Garcia dancing like a backup bonito dancer. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on, man.
None of those two have any business trying to tear each other down. If they really wanted to fight, because look, I've been watching Johnny Boy's streams, and he be getting his card pulled by all these fucking PBC shows and LWC fucking fuckheads on his fucking stream, and you gotta wonder. It's like, yo, there's gonna be a point where it's like, look, if you want to settle this, send me an email, and we'll take this fight on the ground. Like,
you talking to me?
These guys are not men. These are children.
Who?
Tank Davis and.
Oh, but so basically, what you're trying to say, because I'm struggling to hear you, you're trying to say that these are two gay guys trying to be the toughest gay man in the village or something. Is that what you're saying? They're arguing over who's they're arguing over who's the toughest gay in the village. I mean, look, I know what you're saying. They both got very bizarre behaviour for fighters. You don't expect it from fighters, but like I said earlier in the show, it's a product of society where men have been feminised and they've been, well, they've been brainwashed to think it's acceptable to act like that. And you know, I hate it when you get two guys just messing around all like.
Yeah, you don't. First of all, you don't do that in public.
My friends can't do that shit with me. No cuddles and shit like that. Get out of it, man.
They do that shit in public with the camera showing. They're probably worse.
It's true.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's fucked up though with that shit? And you never would think it until I started hanging around with him. You know who's big into that? Kissing on the lips. Like 360-pound jacked up Hell's Angels with mohawks, just did 10-year bid for fucking beating the dude to death. And they go up and they kiss each other on the lips and shit. It's crazy. Ugh. You know, it used to always blow my mind, but they would, I think, and they got to sit there with swastikas, patches on their vests and they're fucking kissing each other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's always big. It was big in that fucking world.
I think that's prison culture.
I don't know.
That's blood into society, man. You're dealing with an overpopulated, prison system where you have a lot of men who are around each other. There's no women unless there's a conjugal visit, and they're fucking horny, and then they end up doing this shit, and then they carry that shit over to society once they're out.
Yeah, no, these dudes weren't fucking each other.
That's why crime doesn't pay, man. Crime doesn't pay.
I should establish these dudes weren't fucking each other or anything goofy like that. No, but it was just in greetings. It was to show that they, their explanation to me that they care more about them than they do their wives. That type of fucking mentality.
Wasn't it also to like psych?
Bullshit, but
wasn't it also to like? Wasn't it also to psych people out? Like, oh, we're so manly. Look at us fucking making out.
Yeah, it was so alpha. Like, yeah, this is our society. Like, everywhere they would show up, especially in numbers, they were just exactly whatever they could do to shock.
What about the French treat themselves? What about the French fucking kiss each other twice? Fuck that, man. And get one out of me.
That's why they say in Italy. Somebody was saying that in Italy because they do that thing also, the kissing.
The Italians do it. The way the Italians do it, it's not like a fag sort of way, is it? Do you know what I mean?
They just touch. They don't touch, right?
Yeah. The thing with the Italians are very touchy anyway. When they speak, it's all with the hands and the expressions. And they're very emotional people, the Italians. So that's not the gay way.
No, I was gonna.
Ryan and Tank, motherfuckers. That's what I thought. Yeah.
What's he say? What's he say?
I said Ryan and Tank is probably touching each other. I know that.
I mean, no, but come on, Johnny, you're Italian too. Like when you see your cousins and shit, don't you fucking give them a hug and like a kind of like a half headlock, like, "Hey, come here, hey, good to see you." Like,
of course, bro. Of course.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
Oh, family? I kiss my family. I have no compunction about kissing my brother on the cheek or my cousins. My
Oh yeah.
But then don't that extend to like your friends too? Some of your
Yeah,
friends.
no, listen, I got friends I've had for 30 years that like their blood.
Is that kind of like that rough, that rugged kind of man hug? Like, hey, come here, like you're grappling almost.
Yeah, but when the Italians when the Italians do it though, they do it with a bit of grace. It's not like with a faggy, disgusting sort of.
Yeah,
oh my god,
on the hips and shit, looking in the eyes.
No, they just do it with grace. Everything the Italians do is with grace anyway, isn't it? I mean, look at the way they design things.
Every single uncle, aunt, and cousin I have a kiss on the cheek every time I see.
You're Italian too, though, John. You know it's big in our culture.
Who's got the echo going
big
though?
Time. But it's not like someone coming up and fucking blowing. Yeah, you got something in your eyelash.
That's a bit different.
Smooching you.
It's not like I'm
coming up
getting
spooned by
like I'm coming up and licking their fucking ear over here.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking getting spooned by Broner is not exactly American culture, is it? So there's no excuse for that shit.
We gotta move on from the phone call. We have another phone call.
Oh, we do. All right. So Virtuoso, thank you for calling in, man. Really appreciate your points. All right, man.
No problem.
All right, take it easy, man. Butch, I don't see another phone call, man.
Oh, well, he hung up.
Actually, okay. By the way, well, you know what? You guys are saying about how there's there's no place for this type of or Stu said that too. There's no place for the huggy, lovey thing. Look at this. This is Adrian Bronner. You telling me this looks gay to you? I mean,
He's too little, man.
Oh, Christ.
He got you, twin. He got you, twin. I ain't got you, twin.
I mean, you telling me that's queer to you? And that looks like
he got
good old-fashioned fashion.
He would have put him to sleep right there. He would've put
Look, hey, you just know that Tank and Broner have been to some of them fucking Illuminati parties. You know that.
Yeah.
Then Tank just hemmed Broner up and about ready to.
Yeah, he would have. Johnny, you saw that, right? He would have put him to sleep if he wanted to.
He could have just broke his neck right there if he wanted to.
Damn, brother. Don't let me find out Tank will whip your ass.
Damn, yeah, for real. Fucking get whooped by this little 5'5" dude, bro. Come on.
I think I don't know about you, Johnny, but I think Tank would beat him. I think he'll be. I mean, not in the boxing ring. I'm talking about like in a play fight, street fight, whatever the fuck.
I wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. Nah. Yeah.
No, I'll tell you right now, in a street fight, Tank would be a fucking bulldozer. You could tell.
Yeah,
he's angry.
he's fast.
He's from the streets of fucking Baltimore. I mean, his mom's done time for fucking prostitution and crack. And I'm not trying to be funny, like make light of that. I'm just saying, it's a tragic fucking life. You know what I mean? You hear about his childhood. It was tragic.
Why?
It was tragic.
Yeah, this is Jimmy. This is why I say do not write this kid off. I know he gets a lot of stick on here, and rightly so. I mean, he's wasting his career away. But if this kid can get it right, trust me, this kid's a real fighter. It's not just
he dialed it in. He'd be right. I would think the only one who I'd still probably say is Lomachenko. If he was completely dialed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree.
Tank's not just an athlete that can punch like Wilder. He's not that. He's more than that. He's a fighter. He's in him. You can tell. It's just like I said. He just hasn't got. He's a bit like Andy Ruiz. Just hasn't got the fucking dedication, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Look, Tank is gonna do it his way. He's gonna do it in partying, that Baltimore scene or wherever he lives at today. Street lifestyle. That's how he likes it, man.
Did he move to Atlanta? I think somebody said.
Yeah, I mean,
Atlanta
got a street scene too. I
was just trying to say, probably even. Well, it's not as violent, but it's more hectic and wider.
Yeah.
Plus, out there, if he's a celebrity, that's the worst place for him. Listen, without the partying type, you're even a minor celebrity, man. If you go out, you're never gonna be lack of someone to buy you a drink.
Yeah, of course not.
That was Dickie Eklund's problem. Once he tasted a little fame everywhere he went, hey, let me get you a drink. Dickie's like, was I supposed to say no? Yeah, you fucking idiot.
And let's not pretend like Atlanta's really the South either, bro. That's fucking. There's more of you, dude. You New York and Boston dudes down there. It's fucking Southern people. At least that was the case when I went down there.
That's what X told me. He says, don't get it twisted, bro.
There's a lot of fucking New York and Jersey and Philly.
Yeah. There's a lot of. It's been like that for a long time.
Make love to a man. Well, they had a big surge in the early '90s, right before they had the Olympics there in '96. So they had to hire like 100,000 workers, just construction workers alone in the '90s. So it was kind of a gold rush for people.
I've had people from the South say, the South say that the reason why the South is bad, certain bad areas is like because you New York motherfuckers came over here. That's what happened.
The thing is that when people say about Tank staying in Baltimore and that lot to party, but don't you think if he'd have gone to Vegas, it'd have been even worse over there for him? I mean, can you imagine Tank in Vegas?
But you know what it is with Baltimore? It's not a big city.
Baltimore, he became Vegas. He'd just be a fucking pawn.
It's a dangerous neighborhood. It's a dangerous city.
I get that. Yeah.
And
it's more gangster culture too, right? You know what I mean, dude? It's more gangster culture.
He's putting himself in danger.
He's the culture too.
But in Vegas, though, he'd just be such a pawn, dude, because there's some big, wealthy motherfuckers out there.
When you live in a big city, you got options. If you want to be a ghetto hood rat, yes, you will be a ghetto hood rat. In smaller cities like Baltimore, it's a little different. That's all they have to do. That's all they do. Like there's no big city lifestyle in Baltimore. It's all the same gangster shit, and so they got limited options. If he was to go to Vegas, he would have options, but I have a feeling he would choose the negative route.
That's kind of he tried it twice and he's failed both times, I guess.
That's kind of how Milwaukee is too, bro. Because it's just one of the smaller cities. It's like 500,000 people, 600,000 people, bro. You know what I'm saying? There ain't much to do, bro. You just fucking
cheese curds.
Yeah, cheese curds.
Well, I'm pretty
Remember, I
sure
had
Tank
those when I was
Davis
there. They
and
were good, man.
as long as Tank Davis and Broner are together, they're always gonna find something to do. I believe.
So if your dick is big and your ass is tight, then you can get with me and we can fuck all night.
That's right. I think that's the type of sing-alongs that they're doing down there. Now, listen. Here's the thing about Tank Davis and Garcia, because we gotta get to it. We started the show off that way. Bottom line, who do you pick if they fight this year? Let's start with Bucho. First on the line. Bucho, if Garcia and Tank Davis fight right now, who would you pick?
Right now, fuck.
Right now.
I'm gonna say Tank Davis. I don't think he knocks him out, but I think he just mauls him. And I don't know if Ryan can fight on the inside. So I'm gonna give it to Tank.
All right, there you go. Yeah, Bucho going with Tank. Johnny Boy, how about you? They fight this year, Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia.
All right, well, just this is what my gut feeling is telling me is this is one of them fights where somebody's just going to totally get the shit kicked out of them, whether one way or the other. Like somebody's just going to go in there and get fucking pounded. Okay, so but I'm gonna for right now. I hate to. Because of course I don't like neither one of these fucks. But anyways,
spit it out.
I gotta go with Tank. I gotta go with Tank. I think Ryan stands too straight up, bro. He's gonna come up with a fucking shot from an angle. He ain't gonna see him and clip him. I got Tank by knockout.
And that's the other thing. I want to see how Davis takes it. I mean, not Davis, Garcia. I want to see how he takes it to the body because he's a tall dude. There's work to be done there to the body. So that's what I want to see Tank Davis see if he can work that body and really take advantage of that.
I got Tank knockout, bro.
All right, fantastic. Stu, how about you, man? All right, Stu's probably making a cup of tea or something. Let's go to Jimmy. If they fight this year, Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, who would you pick?
Okay, I always instantly, you know me, I go to their personal life, dude. Right now, fucking Zipperhead's a mess. He's got a case coming up because they're now pressing charges for the fucking baby mama slapping. So he's got outside influences. He's looked like shit lately. He doesn't seem to listen to anybody. I don't know. And Garcia's confident. He's with the Renoses. They're training hard. But then again, he does stand awful up. Like he's got his head up on a tee half the time. But I'm sure the Renoses would be smart enough to have him because he does. He's good, like you said, quick on his feet. He won't. You don't have to worry about the head. And he's long enough, and he's got a good jab. And if he could just fucking stick it in his face and just keep bouncing back using the legs as distance, get him tired because I think that kid get tired after 2 or 3 rounds. He's going to throw haymakers with everything. Everything he throws is going to be trying to get him out of there. So, and especially if you run your mouth, you try to get him even more angry. So right now, psychologically and everything being equal, I'd have to go with Ryan Garcia right now. Next year, it could be totally different. But I'm just saying with all those factors going in right now, that's my prediction. Ryan by decision. I think he'd outbox him.
Ryan by decision. That's interesting, man. All right.
Well, he actually could even fucking stop him because he does have good power. And I think more gas you get, you know, again, I'm taking in his training, how he's been acting. So, yeah, that's my thing right there.
What was the name of the guy he fought on the undercard of Mayweather McGregor? Fonseca, I think? Or I think he was a Costa Rican dude. He was catching him with some shots, and you could tell Tank Davis was almost like just going through the motions, trying to roll with the shots, but he was getting hit with some clean shots. And as I was watching that, I was thinking, what if the taller, quick Ryan Garcia goes at him with those shots? I mean, he could piece him up. Stu, are you there? All right, because I wanted to get to Stu's prediction. All right, recognize. How about you, man? If Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia were to fight this year, who would you pick and how?
Garcia. I would take him to beat him by probably decision, but maybe a late round stoppage. I think they both have a lot to prove, but I like Garcia's. First of all, he's growing and he's getting bigger, and he looks like he takes boxing more serious. I don't put my money on guys that, you know, they just live the street lifestyle. They drink a lot. They get really big. And then when they just barely make weight and, you know, barely give you a good performance. I mean, the way he performed against Gamboa, I think it's a bad sign of things that are about to come for him. And I don't see him. I don't see him changing that lifestyle. That's what he likes. That's who he is as a human being. And I think Garcia would be a mistake for him. He's the guy that, if he's gonna ever humble himself, will be an embarrassing loss to like that pretty boy type who doesn't have tattoos all over his body. Yeah, he's a little bitch, but he can beat you up because he's in better condition than you are.
Hey, that's a good point, man. What if Tank Davis loses? He goes back to the Baltimore hood. What are people gonna say? They're gonna fucking clown him every time he walks down the street, or?
Yeah, that's more than likely what's gonna happen. Yeah,
man, that sucks for him.
I trust Garcia more than I trust Tim right now. So let's just put it that way.
I get what Recognize is saying 100%. I mean, common sense tells you what Recognize is saying is the truth. But there's just something with Tank. I think this is a fight that he might just take a little bit more serious than the rest. Like you said, I just don't think the pride's going to let him lose to Garcia. I mean, it's going to can he go back to Baltimore knowing you've lost to Ryan Garcia? Like you boys just said, no. So pride's on the line with this one. And like I said, when you're emotionally invested in the fight, sometimes you can just give a little bit more in camp. You know, you cut down on your bad habits, and you know, and like I said, if he does that, then I think he's going to be a bit too much for Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is looking explosive at the moment, very good fighter. He's definitely going to be a real top fighter in a few years, that's for sure. Could be on the pound for pound list, but right now, I just don't think he's been in there with anyone like Tank Davis before. You know, Tank's gonna swallow his shots and come back with his own. And like I say, he's not used to that. Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, also, he's going to get hit. When he does get hit, he's going to get hit with a big shot. Because he's say what you like about Tank, but he can punch. And like I said, he can punch you often as well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Very explosive in the pocket. So yeah, I think if Tank's on his game, then I'm going to pick him to win this one by stoppage.
That's interesting, man. Some people are picking Ryan Garcia now to beat Tank Davis. Stu is sticking to his guns, saying, I mean, most people are picking Garcia to win. They change their mind. Stu is sticking to his guns, saying, no, I think Tank Davis is too experienced and too much for him. Gonzalo, how about you, man? Who would you pick between Garcia and Tank Davis if they fought right now?
Yeah, he's having issues, so...
Oh, he's having issues with the microphone.
Yeah. Well, it also goes to my decision, too, is the fact that if it's true, that he's in there banging away with Canelo. And the kid's always willing to take pictures at all times with his shirt off. So the kid never is in bad shape. So, and then now you look at, when's the last time Davis has posted anything? I don't think since the Corona shit's gone down.
When have you ever seen Deontay Wilder not in shape? Tyson Fury was an absolute mess in that first fight. And he managed to, in my eyes, pull a winner. So, you know, it's...
because of his talent, he was so much better of a boxer.
Yeah, but still, the thing is, the talent's still there with Tank. All you got to do is if you can get the camp right. It's when you got the talent, sometimes it's enough, you know. So
without a doubt, if all being equal, and he was awesome. Yeah, I think he would beat probably just about anybody.
Yeah, listen, that one that turned up against Gamboa is getting beat by Ryan Garcia. But I'm not picking that one. I'm not expecting that Tank Davis to come in the ring. When you ask me a prediction, I'm looking at it as the best Tank Davis that's going to come in there, because I don't. Well, let's just put it this way: if he isn't at his best, then he should just quit boxing. Because if he can't get up for this fight, he's got no business in it anyway. You know, so why is he wasting that time?
Thing, like now that like the whole country is shut down, I wonder what a kid like him is doing right
90
now. What is
seconds.
he doing?
That's a good question, man.
I have a feeling I know what he's doing. He's drinking.
Well, I'm just wondering if the fucking seriously, you know what I mean, dude. If he's still fucking partying in the hood, it's not like they're all just coming over with booze. There's coke around him. There's other shit too.
You see, like
he's messing around with that.
This,
no, he's got that bloated coke look too, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question. Who would you trust more in times like this to be taking care of themselves? Who would you trust more, Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis?
Yeah, Ryan Garcia. You know why? Because he has that. He's obsessed with his looks.
Right. He has more pride in how he looks, and that usually people may not like it, but guys who really take pride in their appearance, those are people that you can trust more than a guy.
They're disciplined.
How did that work for Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz in the first
Well,
fight?
I mean, listen, you're talking about an outlier, right? Like he just had a bad night. He just had a bad night. He got beat.
But like I said, muscle sometimes, I know what you're saying, recognise. You always look at the guy in shape and think, yeah, he could win this, but I look past that.
I don't say definitely Garcia beats Tank. I mean, who the fuck is Garcia for me to say he definitely beats Tank, right? I would never say that. But if you ask me, who do I trust right now? Who do I trust? I trust Ryan Garcia, who's into his looks, who's getting bigger, right? Whether it's authentic or not, I don't care. He's
with the Reynosos. That's no small thing
right.
Either,
he's training with. Look, I trust him more to go further than Tank because Tank looks horrible, man. He just does. He's just a kid that looks like he's getting. In my opinion, he looks like he's getting worse.
Listen,
and Cruz. Tank. Excuse me. The other dude, he also wants. No matter what he says, he can pretend he doesn't care, but he's Mexican. He's a Mexican American. Don't tell me that it don't bother him that a lot of Mexicans kind of labeled him. You know what I mean? And he made light of it. But now that he's training with the Reynosos, he wants to make. He has more motivation. Tank right now is about the money. You know that he wants the money too, like Garcia, but he wants the respect. He wants especially respect of his people. I know that's got to be a driving factor.
Look, what you guys are saying, I expect people that know boxing to say them sort of things. You're just connecting the dots, and it all leans towards a Garcia win. But like I said, I think I cut out. I've seen something in Tank from the start, like BDA said earlier, and I'm going to stick with my guns. I just think if this guy can
you've been around the game long enough, and you got a gut feeling.
I had it with Kell Brook. I see a guy with certain sort of talents. I think, this guy can go and do something decent. And I saw it with a lot of talents. I mean, I remember after a few fights, I said Anthony Joshua would be a reigning world champion. I just knew he had the tools to do it. All right, he's not the best fighter around, but I knew he had the tools to become a world champion. I just see it in Tank as well. If Tank had Lomachenko's mindset, that not training and keeping his shape, he'd be a fucking pound for pound fighter, mate. He's like he can be that good, but unfortunately, like I said, you guys are just looking at
the outside
the ring. You guys are judging this fight by outside the ring, and that's a shame about Tank. But we should be judging it what's happening inside the ring. But I just think Tank. I think he could be a little bit too much for Ryan Garcia if he.
By the way, real quick, shout out to Chris K who just donated the super chat. Shout out to Chris K who said Ryan TKO Tank via pelvic sorcery hypnosis. Oh, yeah, I think that's, if anybody's got that pelvic hypnosis, it's probably Ryan Garcia. Thank you, Chris, for your contribution. Shout out to Chris K. And by the way, I can understand what you guys are saying that, who's leading the healthier lifestyle? It's probably, in terms of working out, it's probably Ryan Garcia. But there's a flip side to that coin. Ryan Garcia is probably having a bunch of unprotected sex with multiple guys in rest stops. And now that there's not a lot of people outside, you know how they are, those people, that they congregate.
Yeah, but he's a topper.
But no. Ryan Garcia is a power bottom. I'm telling you, he calls the shots from the bottom. He's the one that he gets on all fours.
He calls the play from the dugout.
Exactly. Well, how did you say that? What was that?
He's calling in the plays from the dugout.
Exactly, man. Yeah, everyone. Listen, I mean, he's probably got something there.
Everybody got AIDS and shit.
I mean, listen, I wouldn't take a blood donation from Ryan Garcia. That's all I'm gonna say, man. But when it comes to the matchup, it's a pretty decent matchup. But again, I agree with you guys. I don't like Tank Davis. Everything that's going on outside the ring, man. The thing with his wife or baby's mother, whatever they call it.
Instagram bimbos. Literally, that's who he goes with. He dates Instagram bimbos. And now isn't he fucking with Floyd's ex?
Well, listen. I think his daughter, they said. But look, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. What are the top things that usually bring fighters down historically? Money, drugs, women. Now you can say that about rock and roll too, but it seems like Tank Davis is falling prey to lack of work ethic. He's very lackadaisical. A lot of food, probably drugs. We don't know. It's hearsay. And then he's got his problems with the law and all that. So things ain't looking good for Tank Davis, man.
Where's Floyd in all of this? Isn't Floyd supposed to be guiding the guy?
He doesn't. I mean, come on.
I mean, Floyd's trying to talk him into a pay-per-view. Did you see that thing when he had the crowd in front of him and he tried to say he was, when, you know, they asked a question, he said, well, who, when he said who, they asked him who's the pound for pound best in the world, and he actually tried to start saying Tank Davis in the crowd. The first guy goes, oh my God, you hear somebody yell like that. Then they all go, oh, you can hear them moan, and you see, I'll tell you, the best footwork I've seen from Floyd in years. Well, I mean, if you're talking about most exciting, Tank Davis, you know, it's funny. And I think that's all the talk went also on the Leo Santa Cruz. That's done because Leo Santa Cruz is now saying, no way at 135. You're not going to fucking pull me up that high. It has to be 130. And that kid ain't making 130.
Yeah, Tank
Floyd, right. When you look at Floyd with the job he's done with Tank, he's done a terrible job with Tank. And the same with Badu Jack as well. Has Badu Jack ever been A side on a fight? I mean, he's always the B side, isn't he? I mean, Floyd he's just a poor promoter. He should let these guys go to someone and, you know, he's holding them back. He's stopped Tank from progressing in boxing for me because I think Floyd's the last person. When you've got that mindset of Tank of being a party animal and can't keep in shape. I mean, being around Floyd's the last one because I know Floyd keeps himself in shape, but Floyd's not about helping his fighters. Floyd's about helping himself. So Floyd's not going to tell Tank, "Oh, you come and train with me, Tank." He wants to flash in front of the cameras on his own. The wrong people to be around, mate. Like I said, Tank. The only way Tank can get himself back on the right road is to go to someone like Abel Sanchez, Big Bear, and do the Rocky Balboa training, Rocky 4 shit.
And by the way, before we continue, hold on. We got somebody who says we're haters. DSFG is in the StreamYard. He says we're haters. I want to hear him out. DFSG, thank you for being on. What exactly do you disagree with us about?
Appreciate you having me on, BDA.
Come on,
it's not my first time on here.
I know.
I'm saying you can't be one-sided with the situation with Ryan and Tank. Skill set, Tank Davis by far has the better skill set. Also, Tank Davis has a mean left too. So Ryan got a left. Tank Davis also got a left. Multiple lefts, combination with one hand. I don't think Ryan could keep up with that. Also, he will have to deal with Tank combinations and his ring IQ. And also Tank Davis change levels within fights. I never seen Ryan Garcia change levels. I see Ryan Garcia one-dimensional, and he depends on his knockout.
But here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. You said, hold on. You said we're hating. What you just said, Stu, and I think even Bucho and myself said that.
Yeah, I said the same thing too.
Yes.
Did you not just hear me? Did you not just hear me say about Tank Davis? Did you not just hear the last 10 minutes?
No, I just got on, so I heard what I heard. What's the matter with you? But I'm saying, it's kind of one-sided. You know what I'm saying?
You're out. Get out.
If he tied it all together, he would be probably one of the best, if not the best in the division, just probably behind Lomachenko. If he ties it all together. Yeah. But you got to admit yourself, the kid's a lunatic outside the ring. And all that shit has a factor.
All right, but listen though.
Go back and listen to the show, bro, and you'll hear the truth about Tank Davis. You probably won't hear this anywhere else about Tank, but we've just knocked it spot on. The guy's a very good fighter, but he's in the wrong place at the moment. He's got the wrong people around him, and he's on a downward spiral in his career. Let's be real.
I disagree.
He's not getting listen. Tank, this is the thing with Tank. The thing that Tank's got on his side, bro, is he's a natural talent. So if he can get his head right, he's going to be a pound for pound fighter. I said that. I've been saying it from the start. But the boys, what the boys are saying is this guy is a mess. Look at the way he's living outside the ring.
And caller, can I ask you a caller question? Now, what do you think of a world champion who's had a belt for over 3 years and has fought in his entire career one top 10 fighter? In his entire career.
Okay.
He's a fat drunk.
He just hasn't fought anybody. And it just gets one cabbie after other.
Let DSFG respond.
Can we all right, based off what you're saying, so you're saying Tank Davis once his fight is made, he's gonna come in overweight, he's gonna come in unprepared, he's gonna come in as a drunk or whatever talking points you want to use. You think he gonna show up like that?
Well, that's exactly how he came in under a pay-per-view.
Hold on,
His biggest light.
one at a time. Hold on, guys, hold on, one at a time. First of all, DSFG, Stu said that no, if he fights a top guy, he's gonna step it up. I agree with Stu. Other people don't disagree because
I don't know that. I don't give him that benefit of the doubt.
Because I go by past history. I'm sorry I'm cutting on people because of the echo and I don't hear some people. Listen, the biggest fight, the biggest lights, the biggest thing he was under, he fought under a pay-per-view, which was the largest pay-per-view in sports and combat history. And then there's a past Pacquiao. I thought, well, the McGregor fucking Mayweather fight. That motherfucker showed up. He lost his title. He fucking partied 2 weeks up until that fucking card.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jimmy, the only dangerous guy he's ever been in there with at the time was Pedraza, I think, and
what did he do for Pedraza, bro?
Gamboa. Look, did he get up for Gamboa? No, he didn't. You could see this is the thing. He's a bit like Tyson Fury. We got a lot of British fighters like this. If they're not up for a fight, they fucking stink the joint out, and they actually they become as bad as their opponents. You've only got to see it with Billy Joe, Callum Smith. Tyson Fury. We've got loads of fighters that do it. They just if you don't put the right guy in them and they're not up for it, they stink the joint out. That's what Tank does.
How much more motivation can you have, right? Though than being on the biggest
bro. I don't have the answer
right?
for that.
No, I'm just saying. No. Like I would say that's a factor. That's all. No, I agree with everything you're saying. He's got that natural talent. What I do when there's absence of actual fights, so what you have to do is look at history. And his history, even getting up at big fights, hasn't been there.
All right, hold on. We got to maintain some order here. All right, DSFG, go ahead. What's your question?
I said, how many times did Gamboa got dropped during that fight?
He got dropped. What was it? I don't even remember, but he got dropped a whole bunch of times, right?
What is it? Yeah, 3 times. Like
okay, so let him continue. So
this guy's crazy.
Hold on. Let him finish. Come on. Let me finish. Go ahead. So what's your point, DSFG? He dropped Gamboa.
My point is, Tank Davis told you from the beginning that he's going to just put on the show. And normally Tank Davis go in savage mode and his opponents won't survive after a knockdown. But he gave Gamboa grace and he's willing to go to 12. But he dropped him multiple times in that fight. The fight could have been an early night for Gamboa. But Tank Davis specifically said, I'm going to give a show and go to 12. And he showed you.
I gotta say, let me say something, dude. Did you? Yeah, exactly. Did you read the reviews of that show? Did you read what mainstream reporters said about it? Listen, that was horrible. He went the distance with a 38-year-old has-been who was one-legged and looking to get out of there by the second round. It was horrible. That sent that kid's career backwards. And if you're trying to say that he carried him to look terrible for 12 rounds, then, dude, I'm just going to let out this go because you're looking through this with fanboy
That's the perception you have because you're looking at it in a different way, which I'm looking at it as he outclassed Gamboa for 12 rounds and he dropped him multiple times. And it could have been
bum, dude. He's an absolute washed up bum.
The boys are saying he looked like shit. The boys are saying he looked like shit.
You know how you outclass the bum?
Even Davis said I look like shit.
Hold on. You know how you outclass the bum? A guy who's washed up. Who's old over the
Gamboa
hill.
washed up.
You chin check him.
So you're saying Gamboa
you get him out of there. That's what
okay, hold on. DSFG, you gotta admit that's the oldest excuse in the book when you can't take a guy. Hold on. When you got a guy in front of you that's past his best and you can't take him out. I've heard that before from other. Hold on, let me finish, please. Excuse me. Let me finish. That's what they pull out. Like, oh, well, I wanted to give people a show. Come on. If these pro boxers, everything is on the line. If they got a guy hurt, most of the time they try to go for it. They don't want to go 12 rounds. I mean, come on. DSFG, you're making excuses for the guy.
This fight was big in Atlanta. He gave them a 12-round show, which he said before and after. He dropped him multiple times. Come on, he showed Gamboa.
What did he rate his performance? What did he give his own performance?
Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish.
My question is to you, panel. Would you think Tank Davis is going to show Ryan Garcia a 12-round grace?
I don't know.
I want to answer that. Yeah, I want to answer that because, and I think Recognize was going to say that too. Here's the thing. There's two schools of thought on this one. One is the Stu school of point of view, which is and yours, DSFG, that if he fights a guy like Garcia, he's going to step it up. But other people like Recognize would say, well, look, he's shown us in the past that he can get it up when it matters. You know, he's tugging at it, he's pulling at it, he's jerking on it. It's just not getting up. So why do we assume? Why do we assume that he's gonna get it up against a guy like Ryan Garcia?
Like he hasn't done nothing. Can I just let me just say he hasn't done nothing to prove to me.
You know why? Because
hold on, bro. Let me just finish this point. Maybe to you, you know, I don't know how much experience you have in watching boxing and boxing. But that's what he's done so far is not impressive. That I'm going to say, I'm going to automatically assume that he's going to get up for a guy like Garcia or whoever and just give us his masterful performance. The dude lives a reckless lifestyle. Can I give you the difference? He lives a reckless lifestyle.
All right, give us a difference. Give us a difference.
Can I give you the difference?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the build up the fight, Tank Davis, you know, he showed mad respect for Gamboa. He's trying to put on the show. You know what I'm saying? So it went 12 based off of respect, Gamboa heart, and Tank Davis putting on the show, which he dropped him multiple times. The fight could have been ended early. Hold on. Don't cut me off, bro. Don't cut me off. Between 1 and 3 rounds, it could have really been over for Gamboa. But hold on. When it comes to Ryan Garcia, now this is different. Ryan is talking a lot. The build-up is a totally different atmosphere. He's not going to show Ryan Garcia no mercy. He's not going to show him no type of grace, and it's not going to 12. If you think it's going to 12, you bet on who's going to knock out who, and I got my money on Tank.
Hey, can I say something? DSG, you were talking like that before the Wilder Fury.
Yeah, DSG, that's true.
Yeah, you was DSG.
Well, listen,
why should I take your? Listen,
hold on, bro. Don't bring up Wilder and Fury situation because it's two separate situations. You know what I'm saying? So you can't.
Yeah, but the thing is, you said all that shit about Wilder.
Yeah, you talked a lot of shit, and then when it came down to it, he got
recognized.
I'm trying to stay on Tank Davis. I'm trying to stay on Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Go ahead. But if you want to bring up Wilder and Fury, bro, I got my facts on that too. So let's go there.
Bro. DSG, whatever your fucking name.
Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. Right? My money on Tank Davis.
All right. Well, listen, that's your.
Just don't do it. Just don't do a Jimmy Hoffa next time.
Skill set for skill set.
Don't do Jimmy Hoffa on us and disappear. You fucking disappeared last time.
Left hand?
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good question, man. Because Ryan Garcia, ever since he hooked up with the Reynosos, he's been showing an improved left hand. He's hooking with it more. He's leading with the hook. He's
it might knock out little fat.
BTA. Exactly, bro. Exactly. He's improving. Right? Tank Davis been improving. He's been there.
No, he hasn't, man. No,
what you mean?
You sound like a Wilder fan. You're the same sort of guy that says Wilder.
We're talking about Wilder, bro. We're talking about Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia.
Tank Davis has
you said Wilder was improving.
His stamina's gotten worse.
Have you seen Ryan Garcia change levels in any of his fights?
No, but what does that?
Yeah, he's a bad. I wouldn't say.
Okay, so you're looking
Ryan
at
Garcia.
So you're looking at Ryan Garcia in a way as he's improving more, which I give him that. His accuracy is getting a little better. His left hand is getting more stronger, but he's have to deal with Tank Davis, who's a come forward pressure fighter. He also comfortable on the back foot. You know what I'm saying? So. And he got both hands, and he got combination, and he got the better ring IQ, and he changed levels.
Yeah, that's true because that's how we started. We started out in agreement with that. Like we told you, I'm picking Tank Davis if they were to fight this year. But the disagreement here is when you're making excuses for the difference here is when you're making excuses for Tank Davis looking bad against Gamboa and saying, well, he wanted to give people a show. I've heard that before from hold on, excuse me. I've heard that from other fighters. So I'm not buying it. But like I said, and it's a big if, but nevertheless, it is a valid theory. If Tank Davis shows up sharp, like he did against Pedraza, then I wouldn't pick Ryan Garcia in that fight. No way.
Okay, and then I'll say this. If Tank Davis doesn't show up, then it might be Ryan Garcia.
Maybe.
The thing is, though, bro. Yeah, the thing is, though, bro. You come on and said, "Oh, you're all haters," but if you'd actually listened, you've got 3 of us that think Tank will win that fight, and the 2 guys that said Garcia would win made valid points, very valid points. Why they think
we
Garcia
just
would
don't
win it.
trust them. I just
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. It's not like they're not
Your,
saying. So you're sitting there saying we're hating on Tank. We gave you the realest breakdown of Tank you'll ever get on fucking YouTube. What do you want? We're not going to tell you someone's doing something he's not. Like I said, certain people wanted to come on this show and hear us talking about how good Wilder was as well, and we're not going to do that. We'll tell you what we're seeing right now. Tank, he's not in a good place, is he? But I believe this kid, if he can get it right mentally, get it right in the camp, he's going to be a real hard man to beat.
You know what the problem is, DSFG? It's because I saw you in the chat room. As soon as you got on, you started calling us casuals and all that. Once you actually got on, you started being pretty polite. So I don't understand why when you're in the chat, you're a rabble rouser and calling people casuals. You don't come off too good doing that, man. You gotta make your points, stick to boxing, and stop calling people casuals.
Because, okay.
How old are you?
Because from what I heard coming in the chat, you know what I'm saying? So that I went off of that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hear the whole conversation. So that's my that's my bad.
DFG,
I still hear that the how you say it, the distaste for Tank Davis, like he's not applying himself, or he's overweight and all this other stuff. But
he is overweight.
That's a fact.
Oh,
He is
man.
overweight. He is overweight.
Are we making it
outside
up?
the ring stuff do not matter. When it comes in the ring, it matters what happens in the ring. Now, depending
Dude,
you
you gotta take your craft of fighting serious, man. When you got to.
All right, but listen though.
Let me give you an example.
Tank Davis is
Let me give you an
undefeated,
example.
right? He's undefeated.
Hold on. DFSG. OG's going to give you
whatever. DFG.
Go ahead. OG.
Let me ask you a question. Who you gonna trust more? A drunk or a dude who lives a clean lifestyle? Who you gonna trust more?
Listen. That's your
no.
opinion.
Stop. No. Answer that question.
Come on.
Answer it, man.
That's your opinion.
You a young buck. You ain't gonna talk to me like you older
Ain't
than
no
me.
young buck over here,
Who do you
bro.
trust more? No.
That's your opinion.
You a question.
But actually, hold on. He's asking you a question. He's not giving you an opinion. He's asking you a question.
No,
Who
I'm
do you
asking
trust
you a
more?
question.
You gotta know the
Who do you
difference,
trust?
Okay, he said, who would I trust
A
more?
dude who's a drunk or the dude who lives a clean lifestyle?
First of all,
who do you trust?
Tank Davis, weight issue.
All right, you like Tank Davis. I get it, bro. You like
won't
him.
be a problem fight
My
night.
God.
DSFG.
Just
Hold on.
Let's move on.
DSFG. We can't have a conversation with somebody who. We can't have a conversation with somebody who refuses to answer questions, man. Come, it's not. It's not productive here.
This conversation is terminated.
This was a simple question you had asked as well. This is not. We're not trying to fucking call you out or fucking throw you under a bus. This is a simple question, and you can't even answer it. That's victim mentality.
You're a young buck, man. Bro, you gotta grow up, bro.
That's when it matters.
You young.
You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. He's a drunk.
But I don't fucking cut it when you're
gonna get beat up
bullshitting
one
and
day.
fucking around like
You're gonna realize, like, damn, this ain't.
Yeah, you might get it. He doesn't fucking get it.
Let's move on.
Listen, hold on. DSFG. Hold on. Listen, everybody's talking at the same time. Hold on.
Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally.
If you can answer a question, we can have a conversation. I'm sorry.
That's a relevant question, and it's a biased question. What you mean?
It's
a biased question. You can answer it how you want to answer it. You can answer that how you want to answer it.
And I answer it by saying, once fight nights happens, that's when it matters. And also, Tank Davis is giving Ryan Garcia. He said, "Yo,
I know you mad.
You guys should be a politician.
You a young
run for office.
Out of here, bro. What you mean? You's a follower. You a follower, bro.
He getting right
you are. That's why you call yourself PSG.
Yeah, I can hear you, Gonzalo.
Yeah, this dude's a follower.
Right
I
now?
can tell, man.
Yeah.
He looks like the type of guy.
I was all right.
All right.
The truth. You can't handle the truth. You're telling.
All right, hold on, guys. Everybody,
Man, young.
All right, listen. This was a very productive conversation.
Gonzalo's desperate for a question, so go ahead, Gonzalo.
I don't think he's going to answer the question, but go ahead.
Listen, that's an irrelevant question.
Hold on. He's going to ask you. Gonzalo's going to ask you another question. Gonzalo, go ahead. We can't even hear you, Gonzalo.
Well, you muted him.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
I want to know
What do you mean by
skill set.
Hold on. We got another question.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can answer this one. Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Okay, what do you mean by Deontay Wilder? I mean Gervonta Davis gracing Gamboa. This is the same thing that Wilder used to say a lot. I'm gonna bless
No,
him.
no, no, no. It's
What's
not the
the
same
story
thing,
with
bro.
you guys? Some of you
It's not the
guys
same thing.
saying that your boxers are gonna bless other fighters. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Listen, I
What do you
just told
think?
you,
You're
and it
so
was.
special
I
that
just
he
told
gets
you,
to bless everybody?
BDA.
Is
I
he
just
like
told this guy
number
before
one on
BDA.
Jesus Christ list that he can only
Hold on.
bless
Let me
another
answer you,
man?
bro.
Fuck
Let
no.
me answer you. Let me answer you. Just because your perception of the fight that Tank Davis did not do well, in my eyes, he dropped Gamboa multiple times. It could have been over before 4 or 5 rounds. It shouldn't have. It should never went to 12. But he said, "I'm gonna give a show." You keep looking over the fact that Tank Davis said, "I'm
Gamboa
gonna
hit
give
the
a show,"
canvas 13
which he
times in his
did.
career and always
And
got
he
up.
still
The
knocked
only
out Ryan
person to
Garcia.
stop Gamboa was Terrence
And he
Crawford.
still knocked
Okay,
out.
And that could have went to half and
Still
prior
knocked
to
become a
out
this fight.
Gamboa
brain
in the 12th round. So what you talking about?
Oh man, this is fantastic.
But dude, go by what the fuck. And listen, take you out of it, take me out of it. Just go online right now. Look up the
You
fight. Look up what
prefer, hold on,
professional people who get paid for their opinion
you
said about
prefer
it.
Tank
So I
Davis
appreciate
to
that's
take
your
out
opinion. But when your
Gamboa
opinion
early,
goes
which
against
he could have
everybody
done,
else's,
but he
guess
said
what,
he's gonna
dude?
give a show.
All right,
But
listen.
you're
Let me
not
say something.
listening,
I
bro.
want to get in. I want to get a word in here. The fundamental point, DSFG, is that we agree on the fact that Tank Davis, if he shows up sharp, he probably
Okay,
picks.
I got a good
Hold
question,
on.
BDA.
Excuse me.
BDA, hold on. BDA, I got a question. BDA,
Hold on.
Okay.
The fundamental point, however, is you think Tank Davis outside the ring, his lifestyle is okay. We're saying it's gonna catch up to him. It has to at some point. I mean, with the drinking, the bad eating, strangling his wives like he's a Boston Strangler, it's gonna catch up to him eventually. Now you're saying it's not. All right, it remains to be seen. We can't prove it. Neither of us can prove it either way. But you have to admit. You're trying to look at the sunny side of the egg, and this egg is getting overcooked. And I think you could admit that Tank Davis is not leading a good lifestyle.
BDA.
Go ahead.
BDA.
Go ahead.
When it comes to the atmosphere and the build up for this fight, it's too early to tell right now. But once the fight is officially made, instead of these punk fake call outs, you know what I mean, Tank Davis will definitely get back in his bag and his mold, and his mindset is gonna be Ryan Garcia. Now you telling me he's not gonna show up fight night to face a Ryan Garcia who's been talking, blabbing, and calling out
No, I agree with you.
crowd chasing.
I agree.
You're gonna be
I agree with
sadly
you
mistaken
100%, bro.
once Tank Davis shows up, and he's gonna show up on weight, on time. And I'm telling you, fight night is gonna be epic, bro.
All right, but
Yeah,
that's again,
listen,
you gotta
I
keep it.
agree
Hold
with
on,
you.
you gotta keep.
Hang on,
You
can I
gotta
just
remember
get in there quickly,
DSFG. Hold
BJ?
on. DSFG. You have to remember. You have to keep in mind. That's an assumption from your part. You're saying he's gonna show up. We don't know that. We don't know that. It's a fact.
It's an assumption because he lost his belt on the scales
Let you
already.
know the build. So you're telling me the build up is what Ryan Garcia is doing currently at the moment, calling out and twittering and all this stuff. You think that's a mental note, bro? Tank Davis taking mental notes, and then he's going to train hard, and then he's going to come to the
But
fight.
you don't know that
show
for
up.
a fact. You don't know that
You
for a
don't know.
fact.
I
He
don't
had a
know.
history.
I agree with you. I
You
think
don't
that's
know that he won't.
that's what I think
And
he'll
you don't
do
know
because
how
any
he's going to
man's
show up.
natural instinct. Can I speak, please? Any man's natural instinct would be to, especially when you don't like someone, you got a beef going with someone. You're going to try a bit harder. You're not going to want to embarrass yourself in front of the world and become a meme, especially with Ryan Garcia. He's the last guy you want to get beat. So I agree with what DSG saying. I think Tank's going to come in there better. But I don't have proof, nor do you. Tank might be in clubs 2 days before the fight. You don't know. But the thing is, these other guys are bringing other valid points, and you're fucking like brushing it aside, calling it hate and saying, "Oh, I'm biased" and all. You're ridiculous, man. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be prepared
That's
when
your
you're
opinion, bro.
judging a
That's
fight
your
and calling a
opinion,
fight. You got
and
to be
that's your
prepared to look from both
perception,
sides.
and that's your take. I can't change that. All I know is when it comes fight night, Tank Davis gonna be there and prepared. But BDA, I got a question. You think Canelo and Kovalev should have went to 11 for the 12th round?
I think there was something fishy. There was some. Okay.
Or should Canelo knocked out Kovalev way early?
I don't think he could have knocked him out earlier.
You don't think he could have knocked him out earlier?
No.
No, he was keeping him at bay with excellent jabs. Kovalev was jabbing the shit out of him, and he was just a matter of time. But like I called the 10th round knockout by Canelo, so that fight I called myself.
Yeah.
And,
Anyway,
but I said exactly what would happen. I said Kovalev will be able to keep him away with a jab, but if Canelo can get into the body, it's all over.
Do you know one thing about Canelo? He never panics, does he?
I'm just
He never
saying,
panics.
Canelo
He
took out
takes his time.
Kovalev
He's never in a rush.
way
He'll
early.
come eventually, and that's what I like about him.
Let's get somebody else on
Canelo
Discord.
knocked out Kovalev way earlier. It shouldn't went past 5 rounds, bro.
All right, now you're changing. You told us not to change. I don't know how this. Hold on.
Unacceptable.
How does? Hold on.
I'm giving you an example from that Gamboa and Tank fight.
No, but hold on. We tried to hold on. We tried to hold on. DSFG. We tried to link. We tried once. Recognized brought up your awful pick for Wilder Fury 2. You said no. Let's stick to Gamboa. Let's stick to Tank Davis versus Garcia. And now you changed. You're going to Kovalev. Now you're going to Kovalev Canelo. So you're all over the place. All right. Listen. All right. One thing.
We're talking about 12 rounds.
Okay.
So Wilder and Fury didn't win 12 rounds the second time. So I'm having a logical comparison between two fights.
I'm sorry to say there's very little thing that's logical from your end.
That's not a good example. The good example would be Canelo.
I picked Fury by stoppage, early stoppage. Just want to let you know that, dude. And I also picked Canelo by 10th round stoppage. So I've been around this game for a while, and I figured taking all the figures.
Canelo should have knocked out Kovalev with less than 5 rounds.
All right, now you're all over the DSFG. You're all over the place. DSFG. You're all DSFG. You're all over the place, man.
Based off of what?
Hold on. I gotta pause here too. Shout out to Virtuoso who just donated with the super chat. Jesus. Shout out to Virtuoso who just donated with the super chat, and he says, "I love Gonzalo's rants like Ruben Guerrero, woman beater." I don't know what that means exactly, but shout out to Virtuoso. Thank you for your call. I see DSFG still talking there. Oh no. All right. Listen, DSFG, we're gonna have to move on, man, because you're all over the place. You're bringing up Canelo.
I'm
you're
not
bringing
all
up
over the place, bro. I'm over your head, bro. That's what it is.
Oh, now you're doing with the insults, man. I mean, come on. See, that's what I'm talking about. You take this shit. You take this. You take this to person.
How many times do you need your ass slapping tonight?
What I'm saying is,
we've whooped you all over the place, bro. You're starting to look like if you look in the mirror right now, you're looking like Andre Berto did against Robert Guerrero.
He's like Selenov. What's his not Selenov? That
Charlie
guy
Zelenoff.
Charlie Zelenoff.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
I mean, how many slaps do you want tonight? I mean, look, the towel's been thrown in, bro, for your own safety. Now get out of here, man.
Yeah, he's still talking, by the way. DSFG, we're gonna let you go, but one last thing, man. You gotta keep an open mind, man. This isn't about DSFG. DSFG. You gotta DSFG. Calm down, man. Jesus. Oh my goodness.
DSFG needs decaf.
Hold on. Yeah, you need some decaf, man. First of all, so, hold on. Let's all get calm here for 2 seconds. We kept an open mind about jeez, the DSFG. Can you let me talk, please? Guys.
Okay,
hold on. One last thing. Jeez. Listen, here's the thing I want to tell DSFG. And I'm muting you because you can't stop talking over me. Listen, you came in here calling us haters, saying we hate Tank Davis. You then admitted that, oh, sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of the show where we were giving Tank Davis his props. In fact, half of us were picking him and are still picking him over Ryan Garcia. So it seems to me that no matter what we tell you, you think we're against everything you're against. Also, we brought up some very good points, and you keep saying, well, that's your opinion, and then you tell us, well, what I'm saying is going over your head. Which one is it? Is it all
that's your opinion, but my opinion's better.
Exactly,
They start talking about Canelo Kovalev or something. Where did that come from?
You should have knocked him out in 5 rounds. Based off of what? Your vast opinion of watching boxing for 3 years, dude? But, come on.
I'm going to give him the last word. And then we got to move on, right? All right, DSFG. Hold on. DSFG, let me just tell you one last thing, okay? I'm going to... DSFG. I'm going to give you the last word, and then we got to move on, okay? So go ahead.
Okay. Well, all I was saying is, y'all have a kind of a bias towards Tank. Maybe not you, BDA. Maybe some others outside situations got you biased against Tank Davis, which with my opinion, he's going to show up fight night, ready to fight, especially with all this animosity and build-ups going on. Also, I said, if you're going to say that about Tank, keep in mind that Canelo should have finished Kovalev within 5 rounds. It went to 11 from 12, and he took late for the knockout, which he gave the show until the knockout. Gamboa gave a
And
show
Gamboa
before
is
the
equivalent
knockout.
to
Hold on, let
Cobra.
him finish.
Same
Let him
thing.
finish. We gotta move on. We gotta move on. Let him finish.
I'm
All right,
done. I'm
guys.
saying it's the same. It's the same thing.
Oh, listen to that voice. Aren't you sweet?
Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. If you're going to discredit Tank for him taking 12 rounds, you're going to have to be consistent and say the same thing about Canelo, who took forever to knock out a garbage ass Kovalev, bro.
All right, fantastic, man.
Period.
Thank you for joining us,
Garbage.
DFG. Have a good one, man.
Keep the same.
Let me tell you something
The
now.
logic is
Take
so
care.
bent. It's insane.
God,
All
my
Yeah,
right.
head is sick.
Kovalev might
Kovalev.
be washed, but he was a fucking deadly avoided fighter for a long time. This is facts. Tank has fought one top 10 fighter his entire
One of
career.
the,
He choked
hey,
his girl out in public, and he acts like a fucking mental patient.
All right, hold
He's
on
in,
a second.
every
We
time I
gotta.
see him on TMZ every other day in handcuffs, but he's all fucking all right. Well, tells me
Well,
that
here's
my
my-
motherfucker was raised up in this fuck.
Here's my thing. Here's the thing that bothered me is when he says, once we got him cornered, he says, well, he went to the old, well, that's just my opinion. But then at the end, he starts saying, well, my points went over your head. Which one is it? Is it all relative or were you the one that was right? Because he keeps saying, keep it consistent. Brother man, you're not keeping it consistent. But anyway, keep on keeping on, keep fighting the power. And we're going to move on to something else. By the way, I like how...
I'm gonna say this guy. He calls himself DSG after Danny Garcia.
Yeah.
He wants to call Kovalev names. For me, Kovalev is one of
So you're
the
breaking up.
one of the great light heavyweights of all time. So guy Kovalev. I don't care. Anyway, so Kovalev in his prime. Kovalev in his prime would beat anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing Stu. Is it just me?
No, he was breaking up a little
me
bit.
too.
He was breaking
But
up.
I heard what he said at the end there.
Anyway, listen.
I did too, just the end.
Prime.
You have to admit, this was a good phone call. It was, I mean, I'm not, yeah, it was a good phone call. It ate up about
No,
half an
gets the
hour.
juices going.
Was that? Yeah, you got the juices
Gets the
going. That's what
juices going. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
but
just
I
when you
don't-
say, listen, when you no, I know, but like Stu, what you said, right? Fucking opinion. Don't say, listen. There's a thing called educated opinion. You want to hear somebody's background, how long they've been out. Do they know what they're talking about? And a good way of saying that, go by their picks. Like you just said, what was your pick with Wilder Fury? And didn't he want nothing to do with that, right?
Well, of course I don't. This is the thing. I mean, this guy came on for an argument.
Of course he did.
He'd made his mind up before he'd even heard what the show was about. He'd seen the title and thought, "I'm coming on here. I'm going to
And
have
he
an
heard
argument."
our accents. He heard your
Well,
British
you know-
accent. And he hears I'm white, and he hears, you know what I mean? He hears no
Did
black
he?
people on here, so he came in with the bias. That's
Wait
what
a
he said.
minute. We do
Yeah,
have,
because, oh,
wait
you
a minute. We do
He
have
comes on
a
says you're
black
hating
guy.
on Tank, you're biased and all stuff like that. But he repeated the same stuff I said. A lot of that.
I disagree.
I'd already said what he'd come out with. So about what Tank could do. So he just come on for an argument.
I disagree about not having any black people. We have X on the line right now. X, are you there?
Where's
Oh,
X?
I thought he was here. I thought X was here. Well,
No.
he
Oh,
was here.
shit.
I think he
I
was
thought
here.
he was,
but-
I think X is still suffering.
I thought you said I'm all right, Spider. Anyway, listen. The point is, we gotta move on here. Listen. All right. So we talked a lot about Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. At the end of the day, hopefully they make it. And based on the economic turnaround that we got going here, once this is
I really
all
don't
over,
care who wins that fight. To be honest with you, BDA. Like I don't. I'm not a fan of either guy. And in my guess, it's just that. It's a guess. I think I'd take Ryan Garcia right now, but that doesn't mean he's like he's automatic. He hasn't done shit for me to be like, yo, he's like Lomachenko or something like that. So
Calls like that make me want to take Ryan Garcia.
I actually prefer the Linares Ryan Garcia fight for now.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight, Linares.
Yeah, I'm not
And
too
then
fussed
you-
to see that.
You can't expect too much out of Ryan Garcia because he's still in that
Exactly, Gonzalo.
developmental stage.
But Stu, you got to admit, right? When you get calls like that, doesn't it make you want Garcia to win?
Look, I want Garcia to win anyway. Look, I've made it clear. I want Garcia to plaster Tank Davis all over the ring, but I come on this show and have to keep it real. I have to,
What's his beef with Stu? I don't know
Huh?
what his beef is with Stu. When Stu's saying I'll pick Tank to beat Garcia.
That guy was
He said everything he said before him.
Yeah,
all right. Listen. He's not here.
Everything.
He's not
And
here.
then you're biased.
All right. Listen. He's not here to defend himself, so I don't wanna harp too much on that. But I do wanna.
He was blessing Gamboa. He was blessing him.
Yeah, like I said, but I prefer the Linares fight. I think what Gonzalo said is 100% spot on. I think he's a bit green at the moment. He's still growing as a fighter, still growing into his strength. He's a young man. He's still He's still not like at his peak. Tank's still a dangerous guy. Whatever he might look out of shape, but like I said, all Tank's got to do is switch it on and get up for a fight, and he's going to be a handful. So I think Ryan Garcia, Linares is at that stage of his career where he's going to show us where Garcia is.
Well, hey, BJ, can I just say one more thing about him? Not about him, but this is key. When you asked him certain things like this, and he would just shine it right off, like you even asked him to say, dude, you're sitting there saying he wanted to put a show on like he's his homie. Like he went and was smoking fatties with him in the fucking locker room after the fight. Like, dude, you don't know this dude from Adam, and he's fucking talking like he's his boy. And then you say, okay, but dude, you're saying he put on a show. Let's take your opinion and my opinion out of it. Excuse me, fucking Davis, what did you do? How did you think you did? D-. Wow, did you think you put on a show? He hated what he did. So this kid was talking out of realm of reality.
Jimmy, you'll get a guy that you get a guy carry a fight for a couple of rounds just to keep the fucking pay-per-view buyers happy sort of thing. And certain mismatches like Floyd used to do. Joshua's done it a couple of times, but you will not get Tank carrying it all the way to the distance. Especially a guy that's known as being a puncher. He wants to get the stoppage. He wants to do it in fashion. He don't want to go in, drag it to the 12th round. I mean, that's a ridiculous comment. Tank Davis was disappointed because he wanted to go in there and get it done early. Of course he did. And because he did it.
Gamboa wanted to quit. The ref said no, remember? Jacques Reese says no.
Well, it's interesting It's interesting, though, because since you guys are bringing him up, DSFG is saying that Tank gave people his show. Canelo should have taken out garbage-ass Kovalev. Is he really comparing Kovalev to Gamboa? I think he is, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. If you think Kovalev's garbage, and you got no business even being on this channel talking boxing with us. You just haven't. You should go and find someone like Young Pharaoh's channel or something.
Oh, come on. Listen, I wanna bring up something real quick before we go, because I think we talked enough about Tank Davis Gamboa. You know me, I love these segments they do on Ring TV where the best I ever faced, where they talk to fighters and they ask them to rank the fighters that they fought, the best by category, and they came up with Fernando Vargas, El Feroz. Interesting thing is, he's still saying that Felix Trinidad had illegal hand wraps. He says, I never felt anything like that in my life. I think the wraps helped him. I know that after his fight with Bernard Hopkins, they found his hands weren't wrapped correctly. That made my career shorter. So it's interesting, when we talk about people messing around with gloves and hand wraps, they usually bring up the Margarito example or Luis Resto. Yeah. But Trinidad was the one that... Was that?
Yeah, they're the two prime ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was just agreeing.
Yeah, but with
the Hopkins... He killed that dude. That dude died because of that, pretty much. You know what I mean?
No,
he just ruined his career. But it ruined his career, and he ended up drinking, right? A lot, and he got in a car accident and shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was depressed because he couldn't fight anymore.
Yeah, man, he took a...
That was terrible what he did. That was hard. I remember that.
I mean, how Resto was allowed to get away with that? I mean, no one saw them them gloves had no padding in it. I mean, bad corner work from Billy, what was his name? Collins? Billy Collins, it was Junior. Yeah, bad corner work from his team as well. Not seeing that, saw it fight. It's all well and good. It's all well and good seeing it after your fucking boys took a pasting. But look,
well, Stu, the only thing I can say, and again, this is just speculation, my conjecture, because that was right around the time where they stopped. Up until about, I think, the mid '70s, they used to let you take the gloves into the dressing room. You would call prep, and your trainer would put it on, you'd bend it, you would make his fingernail, you would scrape it across, and he would sit there and work your glove back and forth. They would call it, prep the gloves to get it ready for you. And so the fights you look at the old 1930s, right, 1940s, black and white pitches.
Yeah, them gloves.
Right, the gloves all look like they're hanging off their hands by the end of the fight.
Them gloves had hardly any padding in. All they were there.
Exactly, dude. So I think all they were there to do was from that mindset.
Yeah, protect the cut from cutting your knuckles. That's all that was.
Exactly, brother. So yes, and I think a lot of those people back then were still from that era, and they just didn't notice. I mean,
look.
Now it stands out like a sore thumb.
I'm convinced Margarito had some sort of plaster of Paris or something in his hands, or some dodgy wraps when he fought Cotto. I mean, he made fucking Cotto look like he'd been in a train crash. So look, and I think like I think with the Mosley, I think they caught him trying to do it there, didn't they, that night? And the fight went ahead still, and Mosley brought karma to boxing that night. I mean, what he did to Margarito was probably one of the sweetest in my life of watching boxing, because I thought he deserved every bit of it.
Yeah, but Stu, but hold on. With Margarito about him using the hand wraps against Cotto, I don't know if that's true because Pacquiao.
Yeah, I know there's no proof, bro. I know, but it's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's true.
Hear me out. Pacquiao also turned Cotto's face into minced meat, and that's just what happens when you land, a whole bunch of punches on a guy's face, and that's what Margarito.
Yeah, I know. I agree, but Margarito was causing. I don't know, man. There's just something about them punches that was causing a lot of damage, and they were rocking him to his boots, every one of them. Yeah, Cotto's a tough guy, man. Let's be real. He's a tough guy, but I don't know, man. And then, at first, I didn't think nothing of it. I just thought Margarito's the better guy. Just went through Cotto. But when I was watching because I stayed up to watch the Mosley Margarito, and I know there was a bit of talk before that Margarito had been caught with some dodgy raps. And I'd heard that, and then they talked, and then Cotto mentioned that there was something not right about the gloves that night. So I just don't know. Put two and two together, what do you get? But I'm not saying he did, but if I was a betting man, I'd be betting on it that he did. And he looked a guilty man as well. In the face-off, he looked guilty as fuck. Come on, man.
And I heard that from people, in the industry and whatnot. They say he's not a very nice guy. Like in the streets, he'd have no problem fucking knocking your teeth down your throat if you even look at him sideways.
And look, Jimmy, look in the face-off when they fought the second one, right? He looked a guilty man. Look when Cotto put it on him about it. He looked a guilty man. Look, I just think he did. Like I said, he looks the sort of guy that would do all sorts, to do anything he could to get a win.
When I want to hear a funny story,
Margarito a few times.
Was he a douchebag?
No, he's cool. He's cool. He lives like one neighborhood away from my mom's house.
Oh, no shit.
He's cool, dude.
No, I was going to say, this kid in the gloves one time, dude, put fucking, he put some, was either itching powder or something that would make you burn your eyes. And he put it on his glove. Like he took it. Of course, what do you think's going to happen? It went in his eyes before one of the other kids. Swear to God, man. He had to stop the fight. He was complaining. His fucking corner ratted him out. Yeah. I was a little kid, but I'll never forget that. The kid thought he was going to be slick. And it went in his eyes.
But see, where's the honor in that? That means you don't think you're good enough to beat the other guy straight up. It's
exactly. No, if you've seen this kid, he sucked. No, he was terrible. He had no business being in there.
That's when people talk about Sonny Liston, a monster, Sonny Liston, a fucking KO artist, a monster. But what did he had to cheat? He had to put some sort of ointment on his glove to blind a young fucking Cassius Clay. I mean, come on, man. What sort of monster, what sort of warrior does things like that? That just shows me what a coward Sonny Liston was. And that's why he'll never, ever be anywhere near my top 10 great heavyweights, man. He was cowardly act. And in the second one, he fell over. Come on, man. The Phantom Punch.
Imagine somebody doing that today, Stu. You would get suspended for life for sure.
Well, we did. We saw it, didn't we? When Mallet Scott fell over from the Phantom Punch from Deontay Wilder. I mean,
that's true.
Disgraceful, weren't it? Absolutely disgraceful. And look, Sonny Liston, you hear all these, a lot of these black channels talk about what a great Sonny Liston was. Sonny Liston was a disgrace to boxing.
My thing with cheating is this: if you have to cheat to win, then that you're a loser. Like Andre Ward, he didn't have to fucking headbutt Kessler and hit and hold and hit with low blows, but he did it because he was willing. He doesn't have any standards. He wants to win at all costs. But one thing I do advocate is, in terms of knowing how to fight dirty, is in case somebody wants to do it to you, you got to be prepared to know how to fight dirty back. But just going in there straight up and being dirty from the get-go, I'm sorry, man. That's I don't play that.
You want to see how we separate? Well, how I separate from the LDVC. Think about it. I'm a white guy from Massachusetts, Rocky Marciano, a white guy from fucking Massachusetts. So you would think, right? I would prop him up, and I do his accomplishments. But I'm going to be honest. What I was told by people who knew him on a personal level, he was dumb and he was mean. And that's a bad combination. And he had no problem backhanding women. He was cheap as fucking T-Rex arms. Never picked up a fucking... The only thing he couldn't beat was a fucking tab. He couldn't lift it off the bar. Yeah, no, man, cheap. Dude, he died in a plane crash going to collect, I think, $100 in Cleveland. He used to hang around the airport because he didn't want to pay for fucking airfare. My grandfather knew him very well. He trained him for the amateurs.
Look, there's
I'm sorry,
rumors.
no,
That's all right, Jimmy. There's rumors that Jack Dempsey had a plaster of Paris in his gloves when he fought Jess Willard. I mean, he fucking destroyed Jess Willard. I mean, the rumors are that he broke his jaw, his nose, his cheekbone. I mean, look, this face was an absolute mess. And there's rumors that Jack Dempsey actually had his hands. Well, he did the Margarito that day. Let's just say that.
Hey, you know which other case? You know which other case I haven't heard much about? Because now that I got a little time off, I'm going through my collection of ring magazines. There was an interview with Barrera that they did in 2005. He says, and again, I haven't researched this to see if it's true or not, but when he fought Morales the third time, Morales was, I don't know if you guys remember, Morales was very fond of winning gloves in professional fights. So he went up to Barrera, and Barrera claims in the interview that he wanted to wear Reyes gloves, and that they said, all right, fine, you can wear Reyes, and Morales is going to wear winning. And that supposedly Barrera's brother felt the gloves backstage, and he said, wait a minute, something off with the gloves. He grabbed a razor, opened up the gloves, and he said that they were actually winning gloves, except with the Reyes logo on it. And I said, well, wait a minute, how come I haven't heard of this anywhere else? Have you guys heard of this? Or how come it was, if it was true, how come it didn't become a bigger issue than, like Margarito and all that?
Well, as long as if the padding was approved, does it really matter? You know what I mean? Like if it was approved in one glove, why would you know what I mean? They just changed the logo. Is that pretty much what you're saying? Unless I'm missing this.
That's what Barrera claimed. He claimed that he wanted to use Reyes. They told him okay, but that when he felt his brother felt the gloves, he said these aren't Reyes gloves, and he opened them up and they were winning gloves, except that they had.
Now, was that his opinion, or was there actual writing on it that said that, or did he just not recognize? Because sometimes they make them in different plants. A lot of these glove companies, too, unless they're like top end ones, they'll just outsource their gloves and they put their logo on them. That's what. There's a lot less. When I was a kid, dude, it was crazy. There's tons of glove companies. They're definitely a lot less now.
I tell you how bad boxing is, right? I tell you how fucking corrupt boxing. You know, it's a slimy sport when Tyson Fury will not take water off anyone after a fight. Even in the fucking press conferences, in the interviews, he will only drink his own water. It's that corrupt. You could just get past a bottle of water and your career's for enough. You've lost the fight that you should have won fairly. All it takes is for someone to spite you or someone to, like I said, boxing's it's a horrible sport when you think about it. And there's corruption, and that's why I mean, some fighters are under so much pressure they'll do anything to get the win. Some of these fighters are under mafia control, so they had to win. They can just go in there and fucking fall over and do the Andre Durrell or the Zab Judah, find a way out, or the B-Hop. They can do that. And sometimes they're desperate measures, isn't it? So they fucking put plaster of Paris on their hands.
Remember, guys, the press conference for Mayweather versus Maidana when they busted out those big gloves? That was funny as fuck.
Which gloves? What?
When they propped out those like huge gloves, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, for the Amador, because well, Mayweather was always, that's part of the thing. If you fight him, he's going to tell you what gloves he doesn't usually let people wear puncher's gloves. That's why you see a lot of that. You know what I mean? He controls that. Hold on, my dog, get the fuck off me, dude. He's a puppy. Seriously, dude, I'm gonna throw you to the wall. All right, but anyways, can I? You asked about the glove gate earlier. Did you see when I rewatched the fight the other night? You know what was so just it explained Fury's mindset when he took a point away from Fury. Did you see the way he took that? Like, yeah, whatever. Okay, you done. Fine, get out of my way. Like, that's not going to be. It doesn't matter because that's not going to have any outcome on this fight. You see the way he's just like, okay, you're done with your silly shit. Let me get back to it. He was beating the dog snot out of that dude. Why would he have to try to do something to get himself fucking disqualified? It just nothing makes sense. So usually, if someone's going to do something desperate, no, right? Exactly, low blow boy.
No, is that you was on about? I don't know because it was cutting out. So for me.
Oh no, I was saying about Tyson Fury. Everybody was saying glove gate. I'm saying why would he even do that? First off, the video they show is from the first fight. In the second fight, he was so dominant in that second fight. Why would he have to? Why would he have to go to that? You know what I mean? He had already the fight won in the second round. He was done after that. And then when he got, remember when
There's a
he
lot
took
more
him.
cases of. Sorry, Jim. There's a lot more cases of boxing that we can talk about. That genuine cases. Fury, it's nonsense. I mean, why we've made it even a fucking about 2 or 3 shows about this. I mean, I don't even know how we've managed to do it.
Well, I'm sorry, I haven't got a chance to talk when he had.
I'm not taking
I
a
know what you're
dig,
saying.
bro. I'm not taking a dig. I'm just
Listen,
saying there's
Jimmy,
no more.
he's got
There's no more we can say about this topic. There is no glove gate. There is no. We're talking about like fights that you can see that something's not right. Like Louis Resti, that's fucking wrong. Margarito, we're talking about Jack Dempsey. These sort of guys, you just know something's not right with these sort of fights. But with Fury, nothing's there. All the cameras, the way it is today, all these fucking look, all these leeches on the internet sitting there with their phones. Someone would have see something. Someone would have
Exactly, Stu. You know what the
Fury's
biggest
only
thing of all?
mistake. Yes.
Well, I was going to say the biggest thing of all. If you want a mic drop moment, anybody you're talking, arguing, trying to say, "Oh no, it happened." Go, okay. How come the person that it actually cost? Because no matter what anybody says, that loss cost Wilder tens of millions of dollars. Okay, he's not the A side. He's actually dropped down in the rank. He's third, whatever. So listen, that cost. Why isn't his people? How come he isn't saying anything? Because he knows it's absurd. So you know what I mean? Like that's if the fighter and his people aren't saying it. Now that's the problem I wanted to say earlier. Fuck Deontay Wilder for not coming out and putting a kibosh on this, but he doesn't. He's letting the LDBC just run wild with it. Because it takes because it takes their opinion, or not their opinion, it takes the focus off the fact that he looked like shit, he was exposed, and Wilder beat him like a fucking rented mule.
Yeah, but
in fact, he's letting
don't take my focus off it.
But you know what? Sorry, am I all broken up?
No, you're right, bro. It don't take my focus off it. I get up every morning and remember just exactly how that fight went down, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Right, exactly. But with the LDBC, his sycophants are so fixated on Glovegate that they're not talking about, wow, man, our boy looked like shit.
But you know what?
They're too busy making videos about Glovegate. So to him, it's, okay, this is a win-win. I'm just not going to say nothing.
Listen, sorry, I'm yawning. They won't do because they're not in it for the right reasons. They're not boxing fans. Like I said, they're not boxing fans. So they don't care about the performance. They don't care about how Deontay looked on the night. They don't care about weight or anything. They just want excuses. But like it's like me. I was classed as an Anthony Joshua fanboy, right? What was the first thing that happened when Andy Ruiz beat him? I came on this show and I said how poor Anthony Joshua was, and he deserved every bit of his ass whooping he got. I didn't make excuses for him. I didn't fucking start talking about it was because he was in America and he's not used to it over there. None of this. I said at the end of the day, he went in there thinking he was a bodybuilder. He overlooked Ruiz. He was on fucking American radio stations rapping about nonsense, and he took his eye off the ball, and that's why he got his ass whooped. There was no excuses.
Exactly.
So why didn't the Wilder fans just look, Wilder, our boy just weren't good enough for the night, but he's going to come back a better guy. If that had happened, we wouldn't even be having these videos. We wouldn't be doing these videos. We wouldn't be having this conversation, and the boxing would be a better place to be right now.
Speaking of videos, you guys gotta check out the 2 videos that Bucho did about what the LDBC was saying.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. Great job, Bucho. Those had me rolling.
But you know, it's interesting.
But in a way, you know what's good with the coronavirus and everything? That was like the last major card that we had. So like I noticed that the trend with these guys, the LDBC, like they'll brush things under the rug. They'll move on to the next one, boxing is like, what have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
But this hasn't changed. Like they can run their theories to the ground and what are they going to say next? No, there's nothing that we can focus on, that we can forget about. That the truth in the end will be uncovered like it is now, because we got nothing to fix ourselves on any upcoming fights.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know if that dude Fred Hawthorne actually went to the meeting the 25th of March? He was supposed to 9 a.m.
I'm pretty sure he didn't.
They have an open mic and you get to stand up and voice complaints.
I'm pretty sure he didn't. Maybe his Asian
he's
wife
gonna
probably
embarrass himself.
They
He's
probably told
Asian.
him to get the fuck out of here. They give you 3 minutes. Could you
Just
picture
3
that
minutes?
zipperhead getting up there? Oh.
I can bet you if he would have shown up, he would have been the type of asshole that would have taken more than 3 minutes. He would have forced people to kick him out of there. That's what I kind of see happening. You know?
Oh yeah, they would have dragged. Well, I would hope they had Farrell go up there. Right, but, but. I'm like, is this fucking kid stuck on stupid?
Hey, these Wilder fans remind me of Nancy Pelosi. The girl just don't get the fucking hint that she's not winning. She just don't get the hint that she's not winning in life. She's coming up. I mean, that's what they're coming up with. Like they're trying to impeach. So she's trying to impeach Trump for nothing, and they're trying to get Fury fucking stripped for nothing. And it's just like victimhood mentality, and it's like I said, it's
excellent point.
How about Maxine Waters? She's horrible too, huh?
I think that the LDPC should. Well, he's not alive anymore, but they should have hired Johnny Cochran as a lawyer.
He died, mucho.
I know. I'm just saying, if he was alive,
his son. That's right. His son.
Yeah.
All right, listen. We're gonna move on. I mean, we're gonna end it. It was a fantastic show as always, and I mean, it's just it's just time to end it.
How can that be it? Like we are in the middle of a movement here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we gotta end it. Now, listen, Gonzalo, if you could get in touch with Doug Fisher again, try to get a formal interview again, but this time at a more convenient time for him, so that we can actually really get down to the nitty gritty. That would be fantastic. Because we didn't even scratch the surface in the last time we spoke to him. So if you could work on that, if you could get that done, that would be fantastic. And we really appreciate
would you guys ever? What about Steve Kim?
Absolutely, him too, man. That those two are joining.
You're right. I actually like listening to Steve Kim. I quite enjoy.
I do too, man. I got to know him personally, dude. He's really a good dude.
Yeah.
You know what I like about Steve? He just has no time for bullshit. Like that dude, that last caller, like Steve just has no patience. He said, I used to try to back and forth and get into it with people. He said, you get to that point when they say stuff.
He just blogs them.
Kim, he's awake now, but I remember because I've been in this boxing for a long time, this internet boxing thing. And Steve Kim, he was sucked into all that bullshit. He was falling for it at one time. He was, like I said, at one time. Yeah, at one time I used to think, fucking hell, he's a bit clueless, is Steve Kim. But as the years went by, I think he's starting to wake up a little bit, and I started to appreciate his views a bit more because it makes it, because like I said, the mainstream media are always behind when it comes to fucking getting with the program, innit? They're talking about the LDBC now, sort of thing, and we were talking about these fucking clowns years ago, saying what a toxic bunch they are. Do you know what I mean? So just they're always behind a little bit, aren't they?
And what I liked about him was his story. I mean, he was just a call-in to a regular LA show, and he was such a good caller that they offered him a one-night spot once, and it all just went from there. So he didn't go to school. But I'll tell you, he has an encyclopedic mind. He'll like say the date and the, you know what I mean?
That's how you get to on these shows and stuff like that. That's how I got on the Boxing Voice. Just called in, and you just fucking
exactly.
If you know a little bit about boxing, people will fucking want you back, sort of thing. So look. I watch. I'm starting because I'm staying at home a bit more now. I'm starting to watch a little bit more boxing with the podcasts and stuff. I've listened to Teddy Atlas a couple of times. I'm not sure if I like that too much, to be honest with you.
I know he's a bit of a
I do like Mike Tyson's new podcast. I think that's wicked. That is. He's got some good guys going on there. He had Eminem the other day.
You know what I don't like about. You know what I don't like about Teddy Atlas, man? Now that you mentioned it, when on his podcast, he ends up talking very slowly, like this.
It just takes forever to get the fucking point across, and then just about when you get to the punchline, then he goes and starts reading the chat out or something. I just think, get on with it, you fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what I don't like is he's talking slowly and he sniffs a lot on the microphone, disgusting. And he's sniffing and talking slowly, and then all of a sudden he'll explode and he'll start like this. Like, well, come on, man, take it easy, man. It's like, geez. Mr. E just
his analogies. Every time there has to be an analogy, man.
Right.
I'm not sure if I like it, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure if I like it. I didn't think I'd like Mike Tyson's podcast, but I do. He gets some good guests on them. Huh?
He's too high.
They're
all smoking and shit. They're high as fuck. It's like, I don't know.
Well, everybody wants to be complimenting Mike Tyson all the time. They want.
Yeah, Eminem. I mean, Eminem was hanging out of his backside, weren't he? But look,
Everybody does that, Stu, because they're kind of like intimidated.
yeah, but the thing is, I'd be like that. I'd be like that if I saw Mike Tyson, because you got to remember, we're from that era where we grew up. Mike was Mike was like as big as a president back then, man. Mike was a big star, man. So, I mean, my mum hates boxing, right? She doesn't know fucking anything about boxing. She doesn't like it, but she'll always say when she goes, "Oh, I like that Mike Tyson, man. That guy was a monster." That's the first name that comes to her head, because back in the day, Tyson was. That's how big Tyson was.
It was cultural. Yeah, I bet your mum went to house parties. You know what I mean?
So for someone like Eminem's my age, so for someone to see Mike Tyson like that, no matter who you are, even if you're Eminem, you're going to be in awe of the guy, because he was the baddest man on the planet when you was growing up. I mean, and to see him in person, you get sort of shocked, because you realise how small the guy is, and he's not like this monster. He's not like this monster that like he's not like this monster that you pictured him to be growing up, sort of thing, when you saw him. And it's just, I suppose it's overwhelming seeing people like that. And with Mike, I think with Mike, see, with a lot of boxers, Mike's just got that where he has that effect on people.
Yeah, that's what Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. said.
Yeah.
He was real good friends with Mike Tyson. And they asked him, what was his experience? Well, he was kind of an intimidating guy.
I mean, when Mike Tyson got beat, right? When Mike Tyson got beat, I was in shock for like days. I mean, the whole planet just stood still in shock.
I cried, Stu. I cried.
Yeah, come on. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought I actually got up the next day and I thought, yeah, I've just had a strange dream that Mike got beat. You know what I mean?
Stu, I was gonna say about Tyson. You know what? My fucking friend Dave Mendoza, one of Mickey Ward's best friends, who just recently passed away, rest his soul. But anyways, his name was Dave Mendoza. And Tyson was a huge fan of Mickey's. There's a bunch of pictures out there on the internet when Mickey was, they were both young, but because the body punches, he used to love that. So he would he showed up a couple of times, and there was once after, and I think it was Taj Mahal in New Jersey, and Tyson showed up. And when he comes in the room, the boy, Dave Mendoza, turn goes, "Hey, Mike, the first time we ever saw you, dude, you was balling like a bitch." He was coughing. Yeah, Tyson's like, "When was this?" Because the first time we saw him was in Lowell after he lost in the gloves, and he tore the locker room apart, and he was fucking tears rolling down his face because he was 16 and he wanted to win so bad. But I'll tell you that
Tyson, right? When Tyson came to England, he came to Brixton, and the fucking whole street, they had to shut the street off. The whole street was packed with people. Tyson had to get out of there. They were fucking on cars and everything. It was like fucking it was like the president had gone past. You know when the president
he put a top hat on. I remember that in England. He had to put a top hat and shit on.
Yeah, I mean, like Mike was loved in the UK, mate. Big star. I mean, when he fought Kevin Francis, when he came over to fight him, I mean, Kevin Francis was a British guy, but no one was there to support him. Kevin Francis came in the ring and it was just boo. I mean, he was the only guy. I mean, look.
He's one of the most famous boxers that ever lived.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, you remember back then as well. You believed everything you saw in the media. You believed everything you see. So they built Tyson up to be this machine, this unstoppable monster, and you believed every bit of it. It's only as you get older and you watch boxing, you realise and you understand the sport where Tyson wasn't this unstoppable machine. That's how it was bred into us. But everyone believed it. Like I said, my mum earlier, my mum knows nothing about boxing. Oh, that Tyson, he was a monster. He was. I mean, she doesn't know this. She's just been brainwashed to think it through the media.
Stu, you know what he would say if he met your mom? He would say he would actually be. He says it all the time. He loves when people tell those stories. He's like, I love when people tell how I affected their life, or this is what I was doing. He said, because Joe Rogan asked me, he's like, why? He's like, and he straight up said, because I don't remember it. He goes, it happened so. It happened so quick. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, I remember watching Tyson. Tyson in Tokyo. The fucking I remember early hours in the morning. The sun was shining through the dining room. I was sitting there watching it on this little fucking telly, because this was like the 80s. One of them little fucking tellies. Just
went off at 7 a.m. in England.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. Yeah, it might have been early 90s actually. Yeah, you're right.
1991. Yeah.
Yes, it was. But it's still, them tellies were like real crap back there. I remember watching it and I just couldn't believe what I was fucking seeing. Do you know what I mean? But this is what I mean. Tyson, he was an American guy, but I used to get up in the It's ridiculous times to go and watch him fight on the TV all the time. I mean, back then boxers were bigger stars than they are now. Boxers meant a lot. Boxers were big characters. Boxers were as big as as big as celebrities got. Boxers were up there with the singers, the fucking politicians, the lot. But no, they just don't have that crowd.
Well, guys, sorry
Think about 46 million people tuned in to watch his interview on ABC with Diane Sawyer. It was like 40-something million people. I believe
You know
the
what?
final count was.
I gotta tell you guys before we go. I know what you're saying. Well, when Tyson fought, the world, it was life changing. I remember the first time I saw somebody that really inspired me, John Holmes. He really inspired me down the path that I went to in the 90s. And you gotta give it
Is
to
he
him.
a porn star?
By the 90s, he was doing gay porn.
Is John Holmes a porn star? So no, BDA.
Yeah, he is. 12-inch cock.
Fuck's sake.
This guy was. It looked like a fucking baby holding a baby's arm holding an apple. But in the 90s, he was doing gay porn because that's where the money was.
Oh, jeez.
Imagine
Don't
that.
tell me about that.
Yeah,
Don't tell me about
yeah, that's how he ended up catching AIDS.
All right, listen, guys. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it, man. We have to go. We'll do another show since there's not much going on. We've been in the last couple of shows. We've really been delving into boxing history, going down memory lane. So thank you guys for joining us. Now, I wanna before we go, there was Mr. E donated with a super chat a couple of minutes ago. He says, "I love the show. Keep well, fellas." Well, thank you, Mr. E. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate your contribution, everybody's contributions, and I also want to thank everybody that showed up to the panel tonight. We're talking about Gonzalo, Jimmy, Stu, as always, Recognize, Unrivaled, Johnny Boy, Revolucion was here as well, wearing his Blue Demon mask. What was the guy's name? Bucho, the wrestler with the blue mask.
Blue Demon?
Blue Demon or Blue
Demon,
Panther?
yes. The Blue Demon. There you go. So thank you guys for joining us. We're going to do another show very, very soon. Try to keep this going. Second Renaissance, too. We haven't done one, but I don't want to talk about the fucking coronavirus. There's too much misinformation out there. But really, thank you again for joining us. And guys,
Hey, can I say congratulations to you guys too, to BDA and Bucho? You guys got almost 10,000 subscribers there on YouTube, man. Good for you.
Thank you, man.
You guys
Thank
putting in
you.
the work and it's getting recognized. So that's
It's
good for
because
you, man.
it's because of you guys too. It wouldn't be the same without you guys on here. Everybody is part of the whole of the BDA enterprise. You guys are just as big a part of as any of us. So thank you.
And your viewership numbers are actually good. Like if you look at compared to like Boxing Ego, he's got 160,000 subscribers, but he'll have 4,200 people watch a video.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is why subs don't matter, mate. A lot of the guys with big subs are clickbaiters.
Yeah,
exactly. It's all about your viewer numbers and length of time.
Shady Slim's got 20,000. Are you telling me Shady Slim's channel is better than ours? Because if you are, man, you're fucking. I don't know what planet you're on.
And it's all about. You look at their length too, length of view. A lot of people will tune in for like 10, 13 seconds, see what it's about.
And short clips. A lot of the big channels are short clips, or it's like I said, it just takes one good clickbait video and you can gain a lot. And we've never been about that. We've kept it real as well. And we're an 18 as well. We're an 18. We're not a family channel. I know BDA keeps trying to say we're a family channel. We're not. I mean, we're an 18 channel. So that obviously stops us getting. I think YouTube has silenced us a few times. Let's just say that.
Well, listen, this show is all about honesty and it's about debate and healthy debate, not my opinion or my way or the highway type opinions. So I think that's why people gravitate towards this show. And we keep it light and keep it fun as well. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate it. And I also want to give
everybody be safe. Thank you.
Yeah, you too, man. You too, guys. Yes.
Can I ask you something?
Yes,
Can
please.
you do an episode about the fastest fighters currently?
Currently? Yeah, sure. Yeah, that would be a fun. That'd be a good
subject. Right, Gary Russell Jr., show over.
Yeah.
I don't know about that though. I mean, we could.
No, I'm not sure. But he was classed as the fastest, but I'm not sure about that. Some of the smaller guys have got to be quicker, aren't they?
Right. Now, okay, now before we go, shout out to Chris K. Virtuoso and Mr. E who donated with a super chat. Also, Jerson Medina in the chat says, now that the show is closing, what fights would you recommend for the ones contained in their homes? Well, if you haven't seen the classics, definitely try to watch some more obscure ones like Mickey Ward versus Antonio Diaz. That's a underlooked classic that you should watch right there. I'm also today, right, as I'm gonna get a bite to eat tonight, I'm going to be rewatching Lennox Lewis Holyfield 2. I watched the first one. Now I want to watch the second one. I remember people saying, well, Holyfield should have won the rematch. I said, really? So I want to rewatch that one, see what people are talking about. Those were nice fights too. Marcus Barrera, the battle of the counterpunchers, but they actually ended up exchanging late in the fight because it was too close to call. That's another one to watch. And
I got one for you guys to watch. I keep saying some of you guys, most of you've watched it, but I know some of the new listeners probably wouldn't have done. Carl Froch v Jean Pascal. We've mentioned it a few times.
Oh yeah.
That was Carl Froch's breakthrough, a war, an unbeaten Jean Pascal as well. Very good Pascal. That was a toe-to-toe war from start to finish. I mean, Carl Froch fought with a burst eardrum for about 5-6 rounds in that fight. So, I mean, that's another one. I mean, there's a lot of good fights out there, isn't there?
Oh, you know which one most people haven't seen? And shit, I forget how to spell his name, but it was a 2006 Ring Magazine Fight of the Year. It was Mayar Monshipur versus some Thai guy. I forget the guy's name. I'm looking it up now. That's a brawl, if you've ever seen one, about as good as it gets. It doesn't get much attention because I think it was about 115 or 118. I forget which division it was, but it didn't get a lot of love. Okay, yeah, it was Mayar Monch. It was French dude of Iranian descent, I think. Hold on, I'm trying to put it up on the screen here. I don't know why it's not showing up. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna. I don't know. It's not fucking show up. What the fuck? Oh, okay. It's sorry about that. It's not on Firefox. By the way, yeah, that Mayar Monshipur versus some Thai guy. Look it up. It's 2006 Ring Magazine Fight of the Year. Look it up. Like Lobito Gonzalez also saying Carbajal versus Gonzalez, another classic that most people don't talk about. The fight scout says Anthony Bonsante versus Adonis Stevenson. Now that's a classic if you want to have a laugh, but not necessarily a classic.
What about Dennis Lebedev v Guillermo Jones?
Oh yeah, that's another. Oh yeah, that's a freak show at the end there too. That's another one we.
that was a monster fight. That was. Yeah. I love that fight. Man. I think Guillermo Jones was a fucking super heavyweight that night, man. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, man. I mean, those fucking dudes were. I mean, he was always cheating. That guy, I think. That.
Yeah, well, he found a test. He found a drug test for that one, and he found a drug test in the second as well, just before the fight. I was actually just about to get ready for that fight. I mean, the people who were in the arena, and it got called off. I'm sure if it was they called off the same sort of day, people there ready for it to go, and I think Guillermo Jones had come through that he'd fouled another drug test. Don King had tried to pay Lebedev a backhander, but I don't think Lebedev was going to buy it this time. He'd already had his head deformed from Guillermo Jones in the first, didn't he? So.
Yeah, he turned into the Elephant Man in that fight. But listen, Stu, thank you for joining us, man. We're gonna catch you on the next one. See what we talk about. Bring up any subject, man. It's we're gonna go down memory lane. So let's keep that in perspective.
I wouldn't mind talking about, like as well, we was talking about earlier, corrupted fights.
Oh yeah.
That's a really exciting topic. Fights that I want people to call in and tell us fights from the past. It could be any era that you think had something a bit fishy about it, you know. Because let's be real, sometimes you think, oh well, you know, maybe I'm just maybe I'm seeing things here, but you know, but sometimes you know you're seeing the right things. That's my point.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes
also
with boxing, nothing can surprise you with boxing.
No, man, it's it's a theater of the unexpected, as Jim Blampley used to say. We're also watching live fights through Discord. What we do, we've been doing this with Bucho, Recognize, and Gonzalo, where I chop up fights and we look at a guy's weakness and a guy's strengths, and then we chop that up even more. We edit it into a condensed version video, and we put that over at BDA Live. So check out BDA Live. So Stu, if you could join us the next time, because we did it at about 7 p.m. Eastern, so maybe that was too late for you. But
yeah. I mean, I'm not. Do I have to join? Was it Discord? No, not Discord. What's it called again?
Rabbit? No. Rabbit doesn't exist anymore.
Rabbit, that's the one. Yeah.
What we do is right here, like where we're now in a phone call. I share the screen. I show you what I'm watching on my computer. All the chopped up video.
I can do that. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, and because the video recognized Bucho, Gonzalo, and I did is. There's a lot of talk about how Andrade or Charlo deserve a shot at Canelo. So we took a look at those two guys against guys who are similar styles. And we saw, okay, do they really deserve a fight against Canelo? And we looked at their weaknesses, their strengths, and we're going to try to figure that out. So the next time we're going to watch Terence Crawford's sparring session. So if you want to join that one too, tell us and we'll watch it.
Give us a link in it.
All right, fantastic. All right, so with that being said, guys, again, thank you, Stu, for joining us. Really appreciate you being here. And everybody who joined the Discord, everybody who called in as well. Again, everybody who donated via the Super Chat. I'm talking about Chris K, Virtuoso, Mr. E. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to BDA Live, Second Renaissance too. We're going to be doing shows there again. And that's about it, guys.
Yeah. Nice one. See you later, boys.
Take it easy, man. Thanks again.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lomito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.